already.
Too late.
That was on live.
We are live once again. NFL Week 4 predictions. Week 3 recap. Michael, would you like to share your face because
Not really, honestly.
Okay, that's fine. Well,
He's just
this
the
week
oracle.
was a pretty bad week for me and Cam.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. I actually do want to show my face for this.
Okay. The one good week he has so far.
So
whoa, fresh cut.
Dude, yeah. Both of us, me and Mike.
Cheers.
Cheers. Rocky Mountain course.
My thoughts on this week. I did a great job predicting the games. My two fellow friends here did not. I feel like it's going to be a continuous thing throughout the next couple weeks that you guys don't do great and I lock in.
Why?
And because I figured it out, as they say in the betting industry.
He figured out the game.
You copped algo?
I figured it out. But yeah, that's all. I didn't really watch very much football this weekend. I had to move a bunch of stuff on Sunday. So I watched the Thursday night game and Sunday night, and that was basically it.
I thought you said in the chat that you watched this week.
No, that was last week. Come on.
Well, we didn't even finish reading it off, but 6-10 for me and Cam, really bad. 10-6 for Michael. So, is this the first time you've ever won a week?
It might be. I was thinking the same thing.
I definitely did last year.
Yeah, we'll have to run that back.
Okay, he's gone now.
I'm figuring out my odds. Come on.
The records on the year. I'm at 20-28. Disgustingly bad. We're only 3 weeks in. 1/6 of the way there. We still got 5/6 of the season left. 83.3% repeating. Michael, you've gotten over the hump to over 500, 25-23. Cam's chilling at 29-19.
Yeah, being pumped at 500, get the fuck out.
He's over. That's the dream.
You don't know what it's like to be under.
Any overall thoughts on this week besides Cam, because we heard from Mikey's perspective what he watched, but any big takeaways?
I watched the majority of the ones. I mainly watched the Patriots, and then I enraged myself and boycotted the NFL for the 4 o'clock slate and I refused to watch any games in the afternoon. I did catch up for the pod, watched the summary, quick highlight 20-minute video or whatever, all the games. But yeah, that Pats game was brutal. I know we'll dive a little bit more deeper into it, but absolute heartbreaker.
Yeah, I think we actually have it well spread out here because I had the 4 o'clock window is the only window that I actually watched through and through. I'm just texting our potential guest here, but yeah, I watched most of the 4 o'clock, half of Monday, half of Sunday, and 2 minutes of Thursday. So yeah, big redemption season for your boy. I got to start clocking in, but you guys are doing a good job. So thanks for bringing the viewers money. Maybe on our last segment, we can, I'll have some things to say, but for now, I'm getting owned in the picks. First game was a week ago today, the Bills and the Dolphins. This was one of the spots where I actually was the only one to get it right. So, Michael, you watched this game. What was your perspective on this AFC East divisional matchup?
And I was not happy about it because the Bills were in control the entire game, and they just couldn't pull away.
Definitely didn't feel like a 10-point win.
It didn't feel like it. The Dolphins had that touchdown drive to end the first half, and they brought it to within 3 or 6 or whatever it was.
Something like that.
Even tied. But even at that point, when it was that close to the game, you didn't feel like they had a shot at winning. Yeah. And I feel like the Bills kind of obviously they weren't playing to beat the spread. They were playing to beat the Dolphins. And if they were playing their hardest and playing to stomp on their throat, they would have beat them by 40. That's kind of how I feel about that.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I actually went to a Bills bar for it, and half the people weren't even watching the game, even though it was pretty tight in the first half, just because they deep down they knew like there's no shot that we end up losing this game. Granted, I picked the over, like Mikey said, the Bills. I think it's a good sign for the Bills. I think maybe not against the spread necessarily, but for them in the long run, if you're betting like money lines or you're looking for them to potentially make a run at the Super Bowl, you like what you saw out of that game. Definitely held control the entire time. Josh Allen looked good, spreading the ball around like he has the past couple weeks. I definitely can see that moving forward, seeing how they don't have the true number one option. So, yeah, I mean, not much more to talk about. I think Miami's absolutely cooked, but
Ollie Gordon in the end zone.
No thoughts. Couldn't.
That was almost part of my.
I tuned in, and then it was a lot Dolphins last drive where they're driving that field, and then Tua just threw a pick. I was like sick. I've actually been trying to, not be as much absorbed. I'd let my life be absorbed by the NFL, so I was actually watching Big Brother this night. But
cringe.
We are joined by an guest, the man, myth, the legend, DOUF boy early. Because you've got somewhere to go or something.
Oh, hi, Mark.
We can't hear you.
Hi, everyone. What's up?
Okay. Hello. Hello. Why does he keep switching it?
How about now?
Yeah, we got you.
I might not have great reception. I'm in the parking garage right now.
Okay.
We can hear you.
All right, sick.
All right. So cutting to the DOUF. I think we need to switch up the format, but for this last week, you and Cam tied at 2-2, and then Tendy beat me 2-2 versus 1-3. I think we just should switch to teams. Everyone picks everything, and then whoever has the better record of the two teams, and then we'll still figure out the punishment. But what were your thoughts on your guys' performance this week?
I really didn't watch a lot of football. I had one of the most vicious hangovers you could ever have on Sunday, and I was in and out of sleep till like 6 p.m.
Jesus.
I think I was drugged. So stay off drugs. Everyone hide your drinks. Drink with people you trust. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. PSA to the people because it was bad.
You don't think you're losing your fastball? Could that be it?
No, I don't think I'm washed up. I think I've got plenty of good years ahead of me.
Okay.
I'm
gonna say it's too early for that shit.
No. I'm just entering my prime, actually.
Okay. I'd love to hear that. There you go.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I didn't really watch football. I didn't watch any football, to be honest. I watched Monday night.
Podcast.
I watched Monday night.
We have a sports gambling podcast about football, and half the people on the fucking on the stream didn't watch football.
Listen, I usually am watching football. This week, it happens. It was my bye week.
You're excused.
Whatever.
All right, so
Monday night, I've got some freaking hot picks for you, though, so it doesn't matter if I watched last week.
So if we don't hear from Tendy, who of the two of us do you want to go against for next week? Because you guys won. I mean, well, you're gonna have to pick every week, but
I guess Mikey was hot, and he said he's got all the answers, so keep him on the sideline.
Michael is on ice
not
again.
Not prepared for this.
You're out. He's saying you're not doing.
You're out, Mikey.
Oh, okay.
All right, actually tap Mikey in if he's not prepared.
He's still
prepared.
Way to give away
the strats, Mike.
Well, I actually have. No, I'm good. I'm locked in.
Well, we'll let them go first because they're the guests, and then we'll pick up the scraps.
Right.
Well, because we don't want to give away our picks either, so we'll do ours at the end. You guys will have to watch back to hear Team Dub guys' picks for the DOUF, but we'll get your picks now since you got to go.
All right. You can't see me anymore, I'm assuming, or can you?
No, you're just a black screen.
All right, well, this is how we have to do it. I'll put my pretty face back on in a second. I'll just rattle off my picks here, if that's cool.
Yeah. Yep. Go for it.
All right, sick. I've got My dog of the week, and actually Tendy's dog of the week, we're both taking the Bears at +1 at the Raiders. So big
I'm
Bears
not sure if we should
believers
allow
after
that,
last
but
week. We can't allow that.
shouldn't we all have different picks so it's spicy?
No, I think it's fine.
All right.
I
Go for
mean,
it.
if it's a winner, it's a winner, and we're both picking
Yeah.
winners.
Agreed.
Fair
No,
enough.
go ahead. Continue.
Once again with the 1 point underdog, but go ahead.
It's fine. They're gonna probably blow them out. The Bears are back. I think. I mean, clearly Tendy thinks too. The Bears are back.
Okay.
Yep.
Shout out Ben Johnson, unlocking Caleb. All right, we'll keep going though. My over is Colts at Rams, 49.5. The Colts rejuvenation continues, and the Rams are just a good football team. They're both going to score points. The Colts probably will never punt again. They got their one punt in for the year. Shout out the Colts punter. Like, what a job. He's making millions of dollars to not punt.
Fair. he's got the Alex Moran in him. It's perfect.
He's freaking best job ever. My under, I'm going with Chargers at Giants. Rookie quarterback and not a really good roster. Hopefully they don't put up points. Maybe they'll get the rookie bump, but I don't know. First game against the Chargers, probably going to be tough. That's at 43.5. And then I've got Commanders -1 at the Falcons.
The Redskins
I personally,
podcast.
yeah, Redskins, sorry.
You're good.
The R words. I am a huge Jaden Daniels guy, as you all know, as the listeners may know from last season.
Is he playing?
I don't.
He is projected to
He
play.
returned to practice.
Today?
Mm-hmm.
He is projected fantasy points, and Mariota isn't. So I'm hoping he plays.
Okay.
And I think the Falcons are bad. I think Michael Penix is bad. So that's what we got there.
I like it. Is Tendy calling in, or are you doing Tendies as well?
No, I'm gonna do Tendies as well.
Okay.
So we didn't really coordinate this because we had the first pick as Bears the same. I had the over Colts Rams, and he's actually taking the under of Colts Rams.
Little team.
So
team
that's good.
There.
That's good.
1-1 automatically.
Good strategy.
Yeah, I guess that's an auto win for one of us.
Yep.
Also an auto.
No, I don't know why you would
Ceiling
say
is the
that.
roof.
One of us is going to win. Then he's got the over Panthers at Pats. I know for sure he was like, that's such a clear under that he's just going to make it the over. He does that a lot. He likes to I don't know, go against the obvious ones.
Yeah.
And then Eagles -3.5 at the Bucks.
Okay.
As his favorite, I guess. Eagles are a good team. I personally really like the Bucks this year, but he's got the Eagles.
So while we have you here, Mark, I have a quick question. Kind of shouting
That's
out
what we
the
got.
pod. Can we do same game hypothetically for future reference? Not that I'm doing it. So like you pick a dog in one game, but you also pick it as the over or the under, or do you have to pick 4 separate games?
We have always done it as 4 separate games.
Understood.
But I mean, if we all decide on something, it doesn't matter to me.
I like keeping it. I like varying it up. Keep it 4 different games.
Yep, good with me.
Yeah.
Not that I have anything like that. I was just curious. I was thinking about that earlier, so wanted to clear the air there.
Yes, sir.
All right, you got a concert to get to before you go. Which 2 of us will be partaking the DOUF against you and Tendy? Final decision.
I think it's going to be Michael, and it's going to be Dub, probably.
Fuck.
All right.
All right.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cam's hot. I can't let Cam get in it.
Fair enough.
All right.
I
fun,
had
Mark.
something else to say about you guys. I don't know if you talk any baseball, but shout out last week of the season. It's getting pretty crazy.
It is.
It is.
The baseball
Especially in the
is
AL
baseball.
East, too. Yeah.
Especially in the NL wildcard race.
especially in the AL East, especially in the AL Central. Tigers choke job of the freaking century over here.
I know.
So yeah, that's talking baseball with Mark.
The
like
Mets
that little segment.
the Mets and the D-backs and the Reds are all within a game of each other for the last wild card spot, and they're all playing today.
Scooball potentially having to save the Tiger season on Sunday.
We'll see.
It's going to be interesting.
All right. Have a good show, boys. Hopefully you pick some winners, and hopefully you pick some losers against me and Tendy.
All right, bro.
Thanks again, Mark.
Yep, thanks for calling in. Have fun
Good to see you, brother.
All right. There's the DOUF boys. Before Mark did enter the stream, let me go back to our he did leave some comments in the chat. So in regards to Mikey coming out strong, he said, "Go off, Mikey." And then he says, "Kid read the book." Did you read the book?
I did.
Okay. So back to our week 3 regularly scheduled programming recap. Second game. Big upset. I saw this one as well. Browns, Packers, now the 1 o'clock slate. I'm a little bit hazy on, but I did not see the Browns winning outright. Obviously, I'm going to not try and say something that I didn't see, but I thought they could cover the spread. I think this game is in Cleveland. Packers hype dies down a lot. A lot of people were front running with them, saying, it's going to be too easy for them. And all of a sudden, you lose some of the worst teams in the NFL. So, Cam, what was your takeaway from this bad loss from the Packers?
Yeah, obviously, tough loss for them, but they actually had control of this game, even though it was close. They were up 10, I believe, early in the fourth quarter with the ball, and they end up choking it away. But I don't know. I don't really have so many takeaways. This doesn't really change my mindset on either team. I think the Packers are still going to be a consistent team against the spread, and I like them a lot moving forward into potentially the postseason. I know you have a future on them, or you stated that on the pod, Dub. Yeah, the Browns defense is for real, but I feel like we've always kind of knew that. It's always just been the offense holding them back, and the offense just kept it within a winnable game. So, like I said, still not high on the Browns, but I'm not really impacted by this loss for the Packers. I was more curious to see if this impacted your thoughts on your future to win the Super Bowl for them.
It does, but it's early enough in the season that I'm not very
on
concerned.
The road.
Yeah, on the road also. And I think when you're we saw the Ravens last year lost the Raiders week 2, and it was oh my God, but they've already won 2 games against, the Lions look legit, and then the Commanders look to be pretty good as well. So I'm not too worried. I think these losses do happen. I just hope it doesn't happen again. If I start to see this happen again, then I'll be a little concerned. But I do think people are kind of sleeping on the Browns defense, especially heading into this year.
Mm-hmm.
And they only let up 13 points. So I think it's still hinging on Jordan Love, who I believe in. So I'm chilling. I think we're looking pretty good right now. I kind of wish maybe I bought him this week. Maybe the price went down. I haven't looked at futures since I placed him. But Michael, did you have any outsider perspectives from this game after seeing the box score?
Oh man. No, I kind of just I was checking in on Red Zone and on ESPN app and whatever, and it's 10-0 the entire game, it felt like, and then it was just randomly 13-0, a drop of a hat. So they missed a field goal, Packers did, and then 2 plays later, 55 yards to win. Crazy way to end the game. There's been I feel like a lot of last second field goals made this year. That's
especially this past week too.
Yeah, it's an underrated close spread sort of situation, I feel like. But yeah, kind of crazy. You got that running back, the rookie running back on the Browns too, who looks like a stud, but yeah, not much.
All right, another game that ended on a field goal attempt. Just terrible, terrible. If you had the spread, I didn't. So I actually forgot to bet all the 1 o'clock games because I was playing basketball, and then I would have been big on the Rams covering. They didn't.
Good man.
I missed the end of this game as well because I was my watching situation. I was just watching the Pats on one TV for this week. That end of the Pats game, so I missed a lot of these 1 o'clock games. So Cam, feel free once again to take this one away with Eagles versus Rams.
Yeah, this was honestly a pretty entertaining game. The Rams were in control for the most part, and then the Eagles really turned it on the second half. Like you said, kind of a brutal way to end it, especially if you had the Rams at plus 3.5. Especially when Jalen Carter easily could have just fell down and they still would have won the game. Like there's no need to run it back other than for their team, just to get them all pumped up. But yeah, I mean, I thought it was an entertaining game. I've been pretty high on the Rams, even though I don't like the NFC West. This doesn't really that honestly this kind of confirms my belief in them being relatively competitive in the conference, whether it be against the Eagles, however, later on. I don't know right now. I don't think it's really even close. I'd probably double down on the Eagles, but at least they were in control of that game, and it's better to lose earlier on in the season as opposed to the last game of the year. So, yeah, not too much other thoughts other than that.
Yeah, this seemed like an exciting game. Like I was getting all the alerts. I don't know. Where was this game?
I believe it was in Los Angeles.
Okay. No, it was in Philly.
Oh, no, sorry. It was in Philly. You're right. They were wearing their whites, though, so that's why I was thinking they were our way. But, yeah, they were.
Yeah, I like the Rams, to be honest, a lot this year. I mean, I was expecting to be low on them, but what they've shown me so far, I'm pretty impressed with what they've been doing. So, Eagles, I still think, I think this is a very fluky win. I think probably the flukiest cover on the board.
Yeah.
If we're just looking at it. So, I'm not, I think the Eagles are good, but we'll have to see where they are moving forward. Next one, Michael, Bryce Young. Someone on this podcast declared last week that he would be dead, and this would be his last start in the NFL. But he's back.
Who was that that said that?
It wasn't me or you. A 30-0 win over the Atlanta Falcons. I mean, once again, I did not watch a single snap of this game.
I think he threw for 110 yards. Or something.
Yeah, he did not play that great. So before we start hyping up Bryce, let's save that.
Bryce legacy, baby.
Yeah, he threw for 121 yards.
Okay.
He ran for a touchdown. Man.
He did do that.
So, Cam, what's the temperature in Carolina? Did you have to hear a lot of noise this week heading into our matchup this week? Or is it, kind of just this is like a flash in the pan type thing?
No, yeah, not too much. Honestly, I feel like Charlotte fan base is kind of more fake fans where it's they might watch a quarter and then they basically are watching the better game for the rest of the time. Not too much around it. I mean, there's some optimism, but I think deep down they know, hey, home opener, divisional game, good win, but at the same time, they're not really expecting much out of this year. So not too much shit talking coming towards us, but it's definitely going to be an interesting game. I know the spread, 5.5. We obviously are going to talk about that more in depth, but yeah, I mean, I don't think Bryce played that well, but he led them to a win. I think this just speaks volumes about how much I've been right about the NFC South, about how terrible they are. But yeah, I mean, I didn't watch a second of this game. I didn't give a fuck. But yeah, unfortunately, that was a loss for me.
Yeah, I had Panthers. Just because this was a weird game. I could if you tell me that this happened, I wouldn't be too shocked. Just because this is a weird line to me. Coming from the chat, Allie McGann is with us. I'm here. Sorry, I'm late. Tet is awesome. Julian saying to Tet, gonna feed families in 2 years. Would you like to see Julian saying join if you're still in Charlotte? Do you plan to stay in Charlotte for a long time?
I don't know. Probably the soon future. I haven't really thought too much about getting out, but yeah, I don't really give a fuck about the pay. Honestly, I like when they're bad because later on in the season you can go to a game for $10. So that's pretty fun. But other than that, I don't really care how well they do.
Okay. And what about any thoughts on Tet? Did you see any Tet action in this game?
I'm very anti-Tet. I just don't. It's mainly because I feel not necessarily national coverage, but a lot of people around here hype him up, and they're like, "Why would you let him go?" From a Patriots perspective at 4 overall, and it's shut the fuck up. Clearly, Will Campbell's actually been playing pretty well at tackle. We haven't really dove into that too much on the pod. He hasn't really made we thought that sure he's had some boneheaded penalties almost every week, but based off of what everything came out of training camp, and obviously the draft too about his arm length, I feel like he's done actually a relatively good job blocking as a left tackle. So I'm very happy with the pick. I don't know. I'm just gonna be probably anti-Ted forever.
Okay. Michael, anything? Well, we got your thoughts at the beginning. The train is not working.
How long are you guys gonna fucking stay
steam.
on?
Hey, I was on Colts.
Mikey jumped off this week. I'm still on the train.
I
as of
aborted.
pending the next pick. Colts, man. Colts are 3-0, and I have an under on there, 7.5 wins. So it's starting to look a little rough in that category. But I mean, I'm legitimately surprised with this game. I know, I'm rationalizing in my head now. The Titans aren't maybe as good as I thought they would be.
No shit.
But I still don't believe in the Colts, man. I don't think any of who's their week 2 win is that the Broncos win with that fluky ass ending.
I think the combined win-loss record of all the people they've played is either 0-9 or 1-8.
I think the Broncos have 1 win, right? Over somebody.
I think so. It might be 1-8, but still, clearly, the competition level that they've had so far is the hype around them. I think so. It's just is reeking of the Saints from last year.
Yeah, but they won They won 3. The Saints only won 2, which is crazy. But so you're not that much of a believer in the Colts?
No, it's another just like the NFC South. The AFC South's fucking terrible. I don't know what to say.
All right. Yeah, I mean, didn't watch much of this game either. I still think Cam Ward.
No one did. No one wants to watch I don't know. The fact that I just always go back to that week 0 pod where you guys both took the over on their win total, and I thought,
yeah, and you add a win every week. You're like, first week it was 5.5, 6.5, now it's 7.5. And they were like, why'd you take over 8.5 wins?
No, well, whatever it was, I don't know if they win a game. I think them and the Dolphins would be a hell of a matchup, and I think they would lose.
All right, actually, I want to look at the Titans schedule. Any thoughts on this one, Michael?
No.
Okay. Well, maybe you can kick us off on this game. The Buccaneers beat the Jets. Tyrod Taylor. Last second. Were you able to watch any of this mayhem, or trying to just
I actually watched. We were watching. I moved a TV into my apartment, put it on, didn't have any streaming stuff connected to it. The only thing I could get was CBS Sports, and that was playing some bullshit game. So I was literally watching the ticker on the bottom, waiting for the Jets to pop up. And then I was doing something, and my dad was like, "It's a tie game." And I was like, "You're capping." And then I put on an unknown streaming site and watched the Broncos' last drive where they scored.
But
yeah. Sorry.
I actually kind of thought. I mean, the O-line for the Bucs was super depleted. They had their center playing left tackle last week, and they came out with a dub. I think it's kind of a testament to the Bucs' toughness. I really like them moving forward. But the Jets have also played in some pretty close games so far. I think they are a good team maybe to potentially look at if they're slept on against the spread. But overall, I mean, like I said, I don't want to piss off Mikey or be mean, but the Jets are the Jets. They'll find a way to lose. And when your head coach acts like that on the sideline way too early on before the game ends, it's Jets fashion. I mean, I don't know what to tell you.
You can't hit that, though.
Excuse me?
You gotta give it to him. It was kind of sick.
No, it was gross, dude. If Mike Vrabel ever did that, I would fire him immediately. I would submit an email every day.
What are we referencing here? I think I missed this.
Did this little fucking dancey dance on the sideline.
He was running down the field, and then he started strutting on him.
It was so gross. If you haven't seen that dub, look at the clip later. But Jesus Christ, the head coach should not be doing that. With the game not even over yet, either. Wild.
It was kind of hype.
You watch it right now. Second monitor. Yeah, I don't have. Oh my god, my computer's about to break.
You need to move on to the next game, and we can talk.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're good.
This one was bad for me. I thought the Raiders would win. I'm now heeding my advice of my roommate who's a Raiders fan from now on, where he was like, we have no chance to win this game, and I should have taken my guy Mariota. This would be one that I'm thinking about for a while, but I don't know what happened in this game. Just another blowout.
You said no shot? Come on. You got to trust the ball knower.
Yeah.
I'm a ball knower.
I was huge on Mariota going into this week. I feel like that was one of my easier picks of the weekend. It was probably one of the few that I actually made money on, so I was happy about that. But I mean, I think the Skins team can manage without Jaden if he doesn't play this week. But obviously, making a run, you're going to need him. But I think Mariota is arguably the best backup you could have in this league. Maybe Kirk Cousins, but who knows what he's like now. So I thought that was a pretty good win for them with obviously your backup quarterback, and kind of leads into the next segment. I'm still pretty confident if Mariota is going. I think that the spread suggests that he is starting. I don't know about his practice return today or what Mark was saying about the fantasy projections. I don't really give a shit about that, but I don't know. I like this Skins team actually bounced back, but I also don't know how they're going to do against the top level competition in the NFC. So we'll see.
I like this dance.
Stop.
I like it.
All right.
That's why he's the Jets head coach and not the Patriots head coach.
Maybe that's true also. Michael, any perspective on this game? Commanders, Raiders, kind of a nothing game for me. I just thought the Raiders would cover. It was kind of my one spot to pick underdog, and it just failed on me. But
yeah, I was with you. I had no trust in Marcus Mariota, and I mean, he didn't put much on the stat sheet, but I mean, they obviously rallied around him, and I think that's the sort of thing where it's this game, I feel highlights the winning culture type stuff that has a lot to do with NFL games and NFL teams when they play against just bad teams and bad cultures. The Raiders haven't been good. They've just had a lot of shit. And I mean, the Commanders haven't been good in a while. Last year was their first time when we're back, and then they were. So I think they're starting to be on that level of a team that you can, not that you can trust to win games, but maybe cover and have hard fought games.
I have them paired up with the Colts for under 7.5, so that bet's probably dead. But 10.5 on the Commanders. I'm not sure if I agree with your take, though. I don't really put much faith in this Raiders team. Apparently, the offensive line is really, really bad. So I'm gonna be watching this Raiders team, see what's good. Ashton Genty, I guess, is really slept on at this point, where he's actually playing really well, but the offensive line is failing him. So we'll have to see what happens. Now we get to the depression moment of the week. Steelers, Patriots. I said Aaron Rodgers would do it to us. Didn't fully think it, though. I thought we had a chance, and the way this game played out, I mean, you got to just get this one out of your system, move on to the next week. But 5 turnovers, 2 fumbles from Ramondre, put in Antonio Gibson, he fumbles. Drake, that last fumble was atrocious. I don't know why they want to give Travion Henderson the ball, but we move. And yeah, I mean, I don't think the Steelers are the worst team in the world, so I don't think this is the worst loss. But looking back at last week when we were talking about the future schedule, it was they might really be able to stack some wins here. And then you have this game where it's just total letdown. So I'm not even saying I'm panicked. It was just disappointing. Yeah. Because I felt like we'd kind of taken that next step, and then all of a sudden you have these simple, easy plays that just destroy you. So I don't know if you had the same kind of sentiment, Cam, but
yeah, I mean, honest, to start off, it was heartbreaking, but also it's not good to feel that. But last 2-3 years, I haven't been that angry at a loss. You know what I mean? You kind of go in and you are not really expecting much. If we lose, hey, we knew going into it we were going to be a long shot. This week, we kind of went in with a lot of optimism, thinking we would win the game. We came out as, we were plus 1.5, so basically pick them. But at home, the Steelers team is kind of struggled against the run. We controlled the entire game. If you think, granted, you brought up the 5 turnovers, 2 of them were in the fucking end zone. Like 14 points right there. Like, it's crazy, like, the fact that that game was completely ours and we couldn't come out with a win. But at the same time, it makes me a little bit more optimistic on how this offense can progress. And obviously, there's massive changes that need to be made, whether it be the offense as a whole, more specifically the running back position. But you need to control the ball. Like, you don't deserve to win any game with maybe 3 turnovers, never mind 5, 2 of them being in the end zone that you're about to score in. So definitely a heartbreaker. We kind of got like into it earlier on. So I don't know. It gives me, like I said, it made me happy to care about a loss because I haven't felt like that after a loss in a very long time. So hopefully we don't have more losses like that moving forward, but got to build on last week.
Yeah. I mean, that was just letdown after letdown. Like, I pulled up to a friend's house, watched the second half, and then fourth quarter, and it's just like, we're not going to win this, are we?
And also, I don't know about you, but I felt like we were in it like like obviously we were, but it was like I still thought the entire time like, hey, we're gonna come back and win this. Which, like I said, I haven't felt like that in a very long time. Like,
what
it
about
felt good to have that optimism.
The Demario Douglas last play?
Yeah, I'm out on Pop, low key. I've been watching not necessarily that play, but him and Drake have just never really been on the same page. And I've been watching a lot of Boston Sports Radio. We talk about Felger and Maz a lot, but like they brought up some good points. Almost everything. Like it seems like Drake's on time with almost every receiver, especially Booty and Hunter. And then it throws to our fastest receiver in the slot, and they can never fucking connect. Like either DeMar's running the wrong route, Drake's putting on him like 10 feet above his fucking head. Like I think it might be a Douglas problem, but obviously I'm not in the building. Like I don't fucking know what I'm talking about, but. Yeah. I don't know. Something's got to change at that slot receiver position. Maybe Ethan Chisholm gets a fucking shot this week.
Where's Kyle Williams?
I don't know. That's another thing. He got one. I think he got one snap, or he got one target at least. Maybe I think that might be the stat. But I feel like he's barely involved in the offense. No real looks. I don't know if he doesn't understand the Josh McDaniels offense yet, or they just don't trust him to be a receiver. But we can't have another Jalen Polk, fucking Tyquan Thornton, N'Keal Harry. Like, we can't.
Tyquan Thornton is a good ball player, as we saw this week.
Well, that's what I'm. No, but he's not with the Pats, though. That's the problem. Is we draft these receivers and they can't fucking produce at all. Like, I know I drafted, so I'll pass it off.
He is a 6th-round wide receiver, so I think you're placing a little bit of unfair expectations on him. But some comments to catch up on. So from the Jets game, Allie agrees with me and Michael that the dance was awesome by Aaron Glenn.
Right.
And then, but she agrees with you, Cam, that she's out on Pop. Him and Drake have no chemistry, and Drake clearly has chemistry with Mac, Booty, and Henry.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think him and Booty are locked in, and then
Booty looks fucking nice, dude. I don't know, but I'm fucking around with Booty. Not gonna lie.
Him and Henry have had it since he started.
Yeah.
Michael, do you have anything you wanted to add on to this game, Steelers Patriots?
No.
Okay.
It's nice to have other people get their dreams taken away by Aaron Rodgers.
Okay.
All right. We'll move on to the next one. Vikings Bengals. This one hurt as well.
Legendary.
I thought
the legendary game.
Why? Because you look like Carson Wentz kind of as well.
Is Wentz back?
No. We'll get into that later, but I thought Jake Browning would be better, and I'm not sure what happened. I mean, I don't know if you watched a lot of this game, Cam, especially since it kind of got ugly quick. But like, I didn't watch a snap of this, but just seeing the score updates, like Vikings score on this, Vikings score on that, I was like, what? Because I remember these teams playing, and I remember Jake Browning putting up a fight. So what did you see out of this game, and does it affect moving forward with both teams, I guess?
It's more, I think we didn't really acknowledge it enough in going into week 3 on our pod. But like clearly the Bengals have established the infrastructure of they're going to score points and that's how they're going to win games. Is they're going to outscore their opponent. When you lose arguably the best quarterback in the league and basically your entire franchise, I don't really rely on Jake Browning to throw the ball to Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. Or Chase Brown out of the backfield. I mean, they banked on their offense carrying them through the season. And when your quarterback goes down, you're going to have to win gritty. Like, you're going to have to play defense and get into scraps. And obviously their defense is not equipped to do so. So definitely an alarm bell. for the Bengals, at least for me, betting on them moving forward. I think they're going to be in a lot of large spread games, and I might even be taking the other team no matter what. But they got to prove me wrong.
Yeah, I mean, pick six, fumble recovery. You're not going to win games by letting up two
guy had
defensive
2 defensive touchdowns.
Yeah,
you're not letting that. You're not winning the game doing that. I mean, Carson
The
Wentz.
fumble recovery was sick. I don't know if you guys saw that one.
I did,
He
yeah.
The cameraman had no idea what was going on in this height.
Yeah, he was lost in the sauce.
I mean, it doesn't even look like Carson Wentz had to do that much. Like 14
No.
completions, 170 yards. Jettis had 75 yards, but
I think this Vikings defense is kind of slept on a little bit too. I mean,
they still have Flores.
Yeah, I was going to say Flores is arguably one of the better defensive coordinators in the game. So even if Wentz is there for a few more weeks, I really like the Vikings.
Yeah, I mean, their defense has played. I mean, led up 24 to the Bears, 22 to the Falcons, and then 10 to the Bengals. So definitely not the worst thing in the world. And I feel like that defense gets really good in the middle of the season. So we'll have to keep an eye on the Vikings moving forward. Michael, anything that was unsaid?
No.
Okay. Jags, Texans. Another one. This one felt like
it's gonna be another week.
This one felt like we made the right pick, Cam, but it just didn't. Like, I feel like the Texans don't have firepower. Because I was watching that last drive from them, and it was like
we knew that we knew that going in.
No,
they didn't lose any
like,
firepower. They just never had it.
Well, they lost the Rams, and then they lost the Bucks, who are like 2 teams that all of us on this pod rank highly. So it's like, okay, the Jags, me and Michael are higher than Cam is on them, but we're like, for me, this is an easy setup spot for the Texans to come back, be 1-2. But the Houston Texans are 0-3 after making the divisional round last year. And the Jags are in second in the division, and the Colts are in first. And the Texans are in the basement with the Titans. So is there hope for Houston, Cam, or are you out on them moving forward?
It's tough. Let me remind myself who they got. No, I know we're going to get into it. Oh, guess who the fucking – yeah, all right. I'm fine with the Texans. I thought – so this week, definitely due for a back, like a huge jump back spot. That's what I thought week 3 was. Unfortunately, it wasn't. Maybe I'm just not as I haven't watched too much of the Jags, but I mean, you guys have been relatively high on them, and they've won. What are they, 2-1, right? Or are they 3-0?
2-1. Only lost the Bengals in the Burrow injury game.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
they got Mac coming up.
Oh, they're cooked. Never mind. But no, I mean, I don't know. Maybe I just slept on this Jaguars team. Maybe Liam Cohen's actually changed a little bit. The owner press conference speech thing really turned me off from them. But I don't it seems like they've been productive. They're not making stupid mistakes. I don't think Travis Hunter's been as flashy as most would have hoped for. I mean, I wasn't really expecting him to be like a huge breakout receiver early on in the season, if not at all his rookie year. But I don't know. Maybe, like I said, I thought I made the right pick. I probably, even if this happened, they had a rematch this week, I'd probably still take the Texans. I'm not hitting the panic button yet, especially seeing who they got next week. But I don't know. Definitely, 0-3 is a cause for concern.
I'm looking at the Jags schedule, and it's a little bit rough up front where they go to San Fran, then they face the Chiefs, then Seattle, then the Rams. But then after that, Raiders, Texans again, Chargers, Cardinals, Titans, Colts, Jets, Broncos, Colts, Titans. That's, they can get to 10 wins, I think.
Yeah.
The Texans, I think it's going to be we need to see them stack up some wins before I have full faith in them, which, we'll definitely talk about their matchup this week. Michael, anything you want to add onto this one? Our Jags, 2-1.
Not really. My Jags playoff bet.
I have them to win the division, so that ain't looking bad right now.
That's for sure. They got 2 games on the division, the only division competition.
According to Cam, the Colts are 3-0. Some comments to catch up on from the chat. Allie says, I had Vikings defense in fantasy, so that was probably a lot of points. Caleb Downs' tank has began. I don't think a team's ever tanked for a safety, but maybe we'll see. Brian Thomas Jr., have you been following this storyline of Brian Thomas Jr. not getting a lot of targets? Someone's first-round dynasty pick. on this podcast. Should I be concerned or?
I've heard he's dogging it. I've heard he's dogging it.
He's dogging it. How so?
Like not finishing reps and stuff. I've seen the clips. It's not looking good.
I don't know. I feel like the Liam Cohen's offense, at least from what the few like clips I've seen, is they like to spread the ball around, and I don't think like those star receivers fucking hate that. Like he wants to be the main focus in that offense, and that the fact that he's probably not, at least going into the week, like game planning, it's definitely like coming at him, and then he feels like he has to make a big play almost every time he touches the ball. But I wouldn't be too concerned. I think he finds a way to bounce back, and then once he like these receivers can get streaky. Like there can be 3-game stretches where he scores a touchdown every game, and then he's all the way back. So I wouldn't put too much stress on that.
Shane Waldron curse?
No.
Okay. Where were we? Okay, on to the 4:00 slate. Another one. I had the solo dub on this one. Seahawks cover the spread easily. Big question for you guys. Did you listen to the Oracle? Did you watch the Oracle video I sent or no?
I did not. I don't even know what you're talking about.
Michael, did you watch? Okay. I'll pull it up. But the Seahawks get it done big time. I mean, the Saints never even had a chance. I think this got out to like 28-0, 28-3 level. And then it was just like, they're not. They
in like
still
the
had
first quarter, yeah.
They still had to show this game, of course, because God forbid the NFL has more than 3 or 4 games on at 4:00.
Yeah.
But I mean, anything like notable from this game you're taking away, or just kind of put it in the back pocket and see what happens later type thing? I mean, I don't know.
You got anything, Mike?
I guess. I think Spencer Rattler is 0-9 or 0-10 in his career.
Yeah, I think so. 0-9.
I think there's like 3 quarterbacks that have ever started their career 0-10. So that'll be a fun thing for him this week coming up.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't take too much away from this game. I think you know how I feel about the NFC West. Seahawks, obviously, like, sure, they can beat up on the Saints, but we know going into it, the Saints probably aren't going to win like 3 games this year, maybe. Like, I don't really know. It's very interesting to see what they're doing with Rattler. I hope that they're not setting him up for being done in the NFL. Like, I feel like he should be back. Like we've talked about, like, he's not playing terrible, but at the same time, he's not winning games.
He sucks.
But he's not good enough to be a backup, you don't think, in this league? No.
Not a good one. He's freaking. I would take Jake Browning over him. Like, I'd take a lot of teams' backups over him. If you put him in, I'm not like. Imagine you're a Patriots fan. Drake May gets hurt. Spencer Rattler's in. Do you trust that he's going to win games for you the rest of the season?
No. Okay, fair point. I don't know. I just think the Saints team is clearly thinking towards the future, and it's going to be tough to bet on them. Like, this week, 16.5 spread is fucking insane. Like,
don't worry. DK's got it at 15.5.
Oh, okay. Well,
which we'll get into.
Yeah.
So here's the Oracle vision.
Whole year we'd have to be kind of battling against them because everyone's going to have anyone they play in money lines and teasers. But this week they took the Saints +8. They took the Saints +7.5. Seahawks now at home a 7-point favorite. Despite all the money we're going to have with money line parlays and teasers, we need the Seahawks right now.
Something to monitor. Vegas needs the Seahawks. I did send the video, and there's more if you want it, including this next game. Chargers, Broncos. Chargers get the dub. I'm going to 1.5 speed it, but let's hear what he has to say about this. Okay, it went away. Never mind, I won't do it. But this is, Cam, you were boycotting at this point, so I might have to solo drive here. But this is a pretty good game, and I had Broncos money line, felt pretty good about it, and then all of a sudden they just choke. I'm kind of out on this Broncos team moving forward long term. Like, I'm not eager to bet on them on a week by week basis. I think they could just be that team that I thought the Commanders would be, kind of fall off a little bit. Defense is still good. Like, the Chargers might be one of the best teams in the NFL, but this is a pretty disappointing loss where it looked like for a good portion of this game that the Broncos would win. This was kind of this window where this and another game we'll talk about later looked like locks in the bank, and then all of a sudden shit happens, and then spread doesn't hit. In this case, money line doesn't hit. So yeah, I mean, Chargers, good win on them. Like this is like the same thing as the Texans. I thought this is a setup spot for them to take the L, and they get it done. So, I mean,
so I didn't watch it, but I don't know if you heard me, but I watched like the summary of the game, basically getting a full understanding of what happened. I mean, but also I feel like you're underplaying the significance of that win. Like I'm kind of with you, where I'm definitely a little bit lower on this Broncos team. I might be even out on them, especially with all the hype going into the year. But Chargers are 3-0 with all 3 wins in their division.
I know, yeah. Only team that had to play 3 division games, I think.
And they came out on top on all of them. Like, I feel like that's a huge thing that not many people are talking about, and I feel like that puts them in a commanding lead in the AFC West. And they've been playing great football, like great team football. It's not just like offense make plays when they need to, defense steps up. I really like this Chargers team, honestly.
No, I agree. I actually have a future in them doing the division, so this is all pretty good. Nice. They're over wins. So, I mean, I have that one with the Bengals, I think, over 10 or over 9.5. So,
yeah,
probably not looking great there. But, yeah, I mean, I love the Chargers team. I agree with what you said. This was more of just like a letdown spot on the Broncos on my behalf because I bet Broncos money line. But,
fair.
Michael, are you like when the Broncos have downfalls? So, are you happy to see the result of this game?
Yeah, but I don't really care that they like choke this game away, basically. Like doesn't really change my opinion on them. Like we knew last year that they don't win close games, and when they win, they blow out teams.
Good point.
Like that was their signature last year. I think it just says more about the Chargers being an actual contender in probably the NFC, like top 4 team in the NFC. But yeah.
So that guy on the video, the second game he talks about is this game, and he says 2 sharps came into his casino and bet the Broncos, and so it'd be really nice if the Chiefs won. I mean, if the Chargers won the game and covered the spread. So, anyways, next game.
Enough of the Oracle.
It's free money. Next game, America's game of the week, Bears Cowboys. Pretty boring watch. I mean, there was some intrigue I thought Jake Ferguson had a really good game for the Cowboys. Shut him out, 13 catches at tight end position. But besides that, like, I mean, that's the strip on Javonte was sick. I don't know if you guys saw that. Went over the shoulder, grabbed the ball. Besides that, felt like or feels like this Cowboys defense is just kind of the worst defense in the NFL and can be an easy get back spot for any quarterback struggling. So Caleb Williams, here you go. Here's 4 touchdowns. Roma Dunze, once again, I had DJ Moore on the Focus 5, so that ended up being huge for me. But, I mean, I'm not ranking this Bears win as high, but we had a couple of folks on this pod. I forget who it was. Maybe Mikey or no, Mark was saying the Bears were back. So are the Bears back or are the Cowboys bad? A little bit of both. What do you think, Cam? I
think a little bit of both. The Cowboys are bad, not the Bears are back. I didn't give a single fuck about this game. I didn't care who was going to win. I think both these teams are going to end up towards the bottom of the NFC. I don't think the Bears are going to string along wins. They're going to be very similar to these NFC West teams like the Cardinals, where they win a game, lose a game, win a game, lose a game, kind of like the Falcons as well in the NFC West or NFC South. I have no faith in Caleb. We've talked about the painted nails. I mean, it's just interesting to see what the Cowboys do moving forward. I mean, they've probably been terrible for the past, 20 years or so. I mean,
they haven't been terrible, but they haven't been great.
I mean, it's definitely, I feel like it's going to become a conversation later on in the year if they continue to play like this about Dak on what they're thinking towards the future. But I don't know. Like, it's also tough on Dak too with CD out, I think, for next 4 to 6 weeks or whatever it was. So I don't know. I think things can really start to, like, Cowboys are arguably the most talked about team in national media. So Dak doesn't play well without his best receiver. I don't know how this looks going into it. Jerry Jones has talked about the 4 first-round picks in the next 2 years. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with them.
Yeah, I forgot about the CD. Yes, I forgot about the CD injury. It was a tough way to go down. And George Pickens season, I guess. But I thought CD would, like, I was watching with a friend. He was like, he had CD to do something. I was like, he's going to come back to this game. Like, it didn't look that bad. But then I guess he's out. someone said the rest of the season, but I think that was cap.
Yeah,
I think it's like
only a few weeks.
Yeah, 2 to 4 weeks, something like that. So Cowboys will be a rough watch, but we're going to see them because it is the Dallas Cowboys and they're America's team. So yeah. Michael, anything to add on this one?
Nope.
All right. Last game of the 4 o'clock slate, 49ers get the dub. Unfortunately, they didn't cover the 1.5, which is tough for me and you, Cam. I don't know if Mikey, if you hit the Cardinals as well, or the 49ers as well. Okay, you hit the Cardinals. Congrats on the 0.5 spread cover. This is a brutal one as well. This one I think was bet down too, where it was like the 49ers were 2.5 by the time kickoff was, but Mac is 2-0 for the 49ers. Looks like his watch has ended for now. I think Brock Purdy is supposed to come back this week, but kind of a slog. James Conner injury was sad to see as well, because you think about these running backs, a lot of them kind of flame out after their first contract. Not a lot of guys have longevity in the league. James Conner's like gone through cancer. He's probably like pushing 30 or at least 30 by now. And then all of a sudden this devastating injury happens to him when he's still like pretty good. So that was pretty sad to watch. I don't really care much about the Cardinals, but I feel for James Conner. And
Nick Bosa.
Nick Bosa is done for the year. 49ers just have terrible injury luck. Both these teams kind of had somewhat bad injury luck over the past couple of years. And not much to take away from this game for me. Like, I feel like it was kind of just went how I thought. I thought the 49ers wouldn't buy a little bit more, especially considering the way this game went, where they were up for most of the game. Cardinals made a last-minute run, which I respect. Marvin Harrison Jr., I don't know if he's doing good or bad. I feel like I hear a lot about him. So if there's any extra, Cam or Mac, what do we think about this game?
I mean, I was a little disappointed. Obviously, I had the parlay of Mac 2 touchdowns. I thought I would run it back.
I thought that low-key hit, but they only had 1 touchdown.
Yeah, they only had 1. But hey, Mac finds a way to win in this offense. I mean, a win's a win. I don't know. You'll see in the Folks 5 later on, but I don't know. I like the way that he's been playing with this team. Like the way, obviously, every win in the NFL isn't going to be a blowout. Like, you need these scrappy wins, even if it's against these shitty NFC West teams. So, not much more to add. The 49ers are winning with a very injury-depleted roster. So,
Kendrick Bourne.
Yeah, I mean, that's actually a huge signing. Like, Kendrick Bourne was arguably the number 1 receiver for the Pats when Mac Jones was a starter there. Had some crazy plays. Was heavily involved in that offense. I know it's a completely different team, but obviously there's chemistry already built there. So bringing him in was, I think, one of the better signings they could have made mid-season, especially with all their injuries. But I think if Mac Jones / half-healthy Brock Purdy can hold the fort down until they get their guys back, they can potentially get into the playoffs. But at the same time, like, I don't know if they're competing at the top of that conference. So we'll have to see moving forward.
Yeah, I mean, Ricky Pearsall looks like a hit, which is good. And if you have healthy McCaffrey, like, who knows, man? I don't think Kittle's out for a long time, so maybe he can come back and they can pick up some wins. I like the Kendrick Bourne signing, and they have Sky Moore and MVS. Like, one of them could pop off randomly. I still have some faith in this 49ers team to get some games done. We'll see what happens. Cardinals, I agree with you. I mean, they're just gonna kind of fizzle out, but we'll see tonight what happens with the Cardinals. Moving on to Sunday, Chiefs-Giants. Now, Michael, is this the game you watched, or was it Monday night?
Monday.
Okay. This was
I was
horrible
going to say, if you pick to watch the Sunday night over the Monday night, you're a fucking psychopath.
This game was awful, bro.
Yeah.
And, I mean, Russ had the 450-yard week he had the 450-yard week last week, which good for him. But, oh, my God, bro, the fourth quarter of this game, it was disgusting football from Russell Wilson. And the Chiefs didn't even play, like, that great. I mean, Tyquan Thornton had a couple of nice plays, but, like, this was just – I was like, this is an unwatchable product. I literally texted my Giants fan, like, Russell Wilson's – or my Giants fan friends, Russell Wilson games should not be televised. Like, this was awful. And, we'll talk about who they've gone to quarterback when we get to their game. But, like, yeah, I'm okay with it because that was – after watching that, it was like, oh, my God. He's thrown out of the back of the end zone. They're on, like, the 10-yard line. He doesn't know how to throw a short pass. It's like moon ball or nothing.
Bro, the fucker threw it into the tunnel and hit the fucking goalpost on the chance to score on the time you need it the most on, like, arguably the last drive of the game, maybe getting onside or whatever. But, yeah, it was terrible. Like, inexcusable quarterback play. I wish that the change happened earlier for a little more entertaining football. I wish Jameis was coming in.
Yeah, I think we'll talk about that. But a Jameis Buffer, bro, like that would be sick.
Exactly.
The Chargers ain't no sleeper team.
Got
That's their
Mike?
matchup this week. Yeah. Michael. And that they put in Dart for like 1 second to run nothing. Like it's the dumbest thing ever.
They did that week 2 too. It's
I know,
so fucking
They've
odd.
done that every week. They have like a package for him.
Yeah.
For him to run 3 yards.
Yeah, for 2 yards. Yeah,
Yeah.
whoop de fucking do. Thank you,
package.
Gable.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of called this game was going to be like scrappy, disgusting football for the first half. And then the Chiefs would kind of pull away, and the Giants really had no shot throughout this game. Like, I don't know how you, like, if you're a Giants fan, I don't know what you're really doing. Like, I was pretty high on them going into the year, and like they had that week 2 game against the Cowboys was awesome. Like that was kind of their peak. And I mean, you got the Chargers this week. I think they have another hard game next week. Or
Their schedule is just completely fucked.
Yeah. So like I don't know. Like their defense is really good. They don't really have a secondary or a second corner. Yeah, it's rough for the Giants fans.
They do have the Saints week 5 in New Orleans. So that could be something to watch for a little dart action. But Chargers, then Eagles, Broncos, Eagles, 49ers, Bears, Packers, Lions, Pats, Commanders, Vikings, Raiders, Cowboys again. It's tough. It's tough out there. Tyron Tracy injured as well. Cam Scotabo looks like he's going to be the guy right now.
Yeah.
So, little nugget for you there. All right, Michael, your turn. Take us away on this Monday night game. Lions, Ravens. What'd you see? What'd you like?
Didn't watch to the end of it because I have to go to bed.
Dude.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I feel like we all kind of called this one being a super high scoring game. I thought it'd be a little bit more heavy on the pass than the run, just because I feel like I go against. I feel like last times these two teams have played, like obviously you're going to get your touchdowns from Derrick Henry and Dave Montgomery, but I was not expecting 2 each from the Lions backs. I was hoping for a little more from Jared Goff, and Lamar had a bunch of plays through the air, but I was hoping for a little more there. I feel like
Mark Andrew.
The Lions needed their week 1 kind of ass whooping to be like,
wake them up.
Yeah, like they needed that to be like, we're not that team, we're better than that. And I feel like it's a good thing that happened early. Like if they had squeaked away with a win that week, and kind of like sleptwalked through these next 2 games, like things could be very different for them right now. So that was good for them and good culture building and all that good stuff. And the Ravens being 1-2 is kind of, I feel like, deceiving. Like,
agreed.
Obviously,
big matchup this week as well.
Yeah.
Obviously, like, we know that they're a better team, and I feel like this week, especially, them being 1-2 is helpful for the line.
Absolutely.
But yeah, good game overall. Obviously, I feel like whenever the Lions are on TV, it's a great game. I like watching them.
Especially in prime time. I feel like they're one of the few teams that consistently delivers in prime time.
Yeah, for sure.
Really kicking myself. We talked about it a lot, but I'm a big David Montgomery, Jameer Gibbs touchdown.
Yeah, you went with a 4-touchdown parlay.
I don't know why I stuck away with it, because I was more concerned about picking a winner in this game, because usually I do Gibbs, Montgomery, and then Lions money line, which obviously would have hit. Like Mikey said, they each had 2. But I couldn't agree more with Mikey. Like, they needed that kick in the ass, and now they're getting back to that grounded pound style, whether it be Gibbs or Montgomery, which I really like that dynamic. Like, they obviously want each other to play well, but it's also like, hey, I want to do better than that fucking guy. Like, I deserve more carries than him. And it just makes them a much better team. And then that opens stuff up for Goff. I was expecting a little bit more, like Mikey said, more pass heavy out of Goff, especially trying to keep up with the Ravens. I'm very high on this Ravens team, but also Derrick Henry needs to lock the fuck in. Like,
yeah, that's been a tough. I mean, it doesn't feel like it's even he needs to lock in. It's just like it's hard to watch.
It's just like it's tough timing every single time. It's always like, hey, like one of the last drives, fourth quarter, gotta have it, and then he's like trying to do too much. Which when he does try and do whatever Derrick Henry does, it usually ends up in a massive play, potentially a 50-yard rushing touchdown. But in the fourth quarter, he's turned the ball over twice in must-win situations. So it's difficult to watch, but like you said, I think these are great things to get out of the way in the first 3 weeks of the season. Like, we're probably not even going to mention this come playoff time. So I don't know. I'm very high. I'm definitely much higher on the Lions than I was after or before this week. I think that was a huge win for them, but also like I think the Ravens are definitely going to be a huge pick. At least this week, maybe weeks forward, based on their record, like Mikey said, definitely helping out the line a little bit, being 1-2. But what they've been in every game. I know the backdoor touchdown at the end of the game kind of saved the like actual score, like how it looked. But I mean, competitive, at least the first 3 quarters, like they played very well. So I don't know. I mean, that recaps week 3. I don't know if you had any additional thoughts, Dub, but.
No, I had, instead of what you guys took, I did Gibbs touchdown, Henry touchdown, and the over. So I was pretty happy with that. I was pretty happy with Mark Andrews because he was doing nothing in fantasy. Lamar was just getting crunched. It's tough to watch. That Derrick Henry I like both these teams because I like Lamar and I like the Lions culture. I like Amon-Ra, even though he's kind of cringy at times. So I was like, whoever wins this, and whoever lost this would be 0-2, which the Ravens are now 1-2. I don't feel terrible about it, but I like the line. Like, I think the Lions Packers is gonna be a fun rematch when that happens in Detroit. And then the Vikings look okay as for now. We'll see what JJ ends up being, but I think it's good to have good NFC teams. I'm glad that the Lions are good. Ravens there are concerns there, but I'm looking forward to them kind of bouncing back as well. So especially this week, I think 425 is that's gonna be my game of the week just to watch.
Yeah.
Comment from the chat: the Ravens' offensive line and defensive line is trouble. So we kind of touched on the offensive line, but were you seeing defensive line issues out of the Ravens, Michael?
I don't know.
Okay.
Can't speak.
Cam?
I don't have too much concern. Kyle Van Noy was their sack leader last year, which is still kind of crazy to think about. Ex-Pat like 5-6 years ago when they were winning, but he led the team in sacks last year. He was out. I feel like he's extremely underrated and kind of like a glue guy, like a veteran in that locker room that sure you're not expecting him to be like a Micah where he's going to disrupt the pass every single play, but he can definitely make an impact on the game. They also were out with their top defensive tackle. So I mean, obviously it didn't look great. Obviously giving up 4 rushing touchdowns to 2 running backs in one game at home isn't great, but when you're missing 2 of your top end defensive, like in the box defenders, it's definitely going to be difficult to game plan for those arguably 2 of the best running combination in football.
Okay, I also missed one comment. I think this is supposed to be JSN him. Jackson Smith-Njigba, top 10 wide receiver in the league?
Not yet.
Not yet. Michael?
Could be.
I say yeah.
You gotta play.
It's like I feel like you can get like a 6 or 7 list, and then they're like 8.
Yeah,
it's all debatable.
Yeah,
is like,
good point. Agreed.
All right, it's time for week 4, starting in an hour and 30 minutes ish. Cam, your favorite division in football, the NFC West. 2 teams do battle tonight. Give us your pick, but before that, tell us your watch meter on this of 1 to 10. How much will you be watching, or how much are you looking forward to watching?
So I don't know if you guys, the listeners that are currently listening, I have a flight to Vegas tomorrow. I have to go into the office at 6 o'clock to finish all my responsibilities, or most of them, by 11. So I don't think I'm gonna be staying up for this entire game, unfortunately. But I think this game can either be one of the more entertaining games of the week or one of the grossest games of the entire year. This could be a shootout, 35-30, or it could be a fucking dud where it's 10-7. Like, I honestly have no. arguably one of. I actually don't mind picking against the spread in this. I really like the Seahawks on the road. I'm very anti-Cardinals, especially if you listen last year. But I really like the Seahawks. Basically, a pick on -1.5. I know they're going on the road, but I don't know. They obviously building off a huge win last week. Cardinals coming off of a loss against the 49ers, might be a little banged up, short week. I don't know. I feel like the Seahawks kind of coasted. They didn't really need to grind out a win. Like, they might not be as exhausted as this Cardinals team. But I like the Seahawks. Hopefully I can catch the first half, but we'll incorporate that in the Focus 5 as well. But I'm going Seahawks -1.5 here.
So you're looking forward to watching this game tonight?
No, absolutely not. That's not what I said. I try to watch every football game for the pod, just to be more accurate in my picks.
Yeah. Okay.
You should be doing
Michael.
that. I agree.
From the
Yes, Michael.
one game a week.
Michael watches 100% of NFL football. What is your take, Michael, for this one? Cardinals.
I believe that I will be. I feel like I haven't picked with the Seahawks yet this year.
I feel like you picked them every week because of Darnold.
Maybe I picked him week 1.
Last week you definitely didn't, but
yeah, I think I only picked him week 1. But I'm gonna keep that train going, and I'm gonna pick the Cardinals.
Okay.
I think that, with their injuries and that going on, I feel like they have to find a new way to have their offense flow, and Trey Benson or whatever his name is their backup running back who's going to have to step up, who played well last year and this year. And I feel like it's time for Marv to step up. And I've been seeing a lot of stuff about him and I feel like Brian Robinson are sort of in the same boat.
Brian Thomas.
And what did I say?
Yeah.
Brian Robinson. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like they're kind of in the same boat as great receivers that people think are super talented, but have proved it here and there in their NFL career and need to be more consistent. I think this could be a spot where he pops off, because I've also been hearing a lot of negative Tariq Woolen commentary and from Seahawks fans. So, yeah.
Where are you?
I hear commentary. Come on.
Okay, I respect it. He's got
the algo. We forgot.
Yeah, so I'm taking Cardinals here.
Yeah, you read the book. Well, maybe I'm fading the book because I'm taking the Seahawks. Cardinals 2 wins are the Saints and the Panthers, and they beat them by 7 and 5 points. Granted, the Seahawks did just beat the Saints as well, but they smoked them. I think I trust at this point. I trust Sam Darnold more than Kyler, because there's higher highs with Sam, and Sam's floor is bad, but we haven't seen that floor in a lot of years. Where Kyler's floor is
Did you watch the last 2 weeks of last year for the Vikings?
Yeah, when they played the Lions.
When they were playing 2 of the best teams in the NFC.
This is your guy. Why are you hating on your guy right now?
I'm not. I'm just trying to keep everyone's head level.
I do think this is a crapshoot, but I think the Cardinals being 2-1 is just absurd. I think it makes more sense for the Seahawks to be 3-1, and I think the Cardinals the definition of mid and maybe slightly even worse. So I'm taking the team who has better weapons, better defense, has shown me more. It's Thursday night, so it's a crapshoot, shitty product. I probably won't be watching at least the first half of this game, but I'm taking the Seahawks if I have to pick one, and I feel good about it. I feel decent about it. Comment from the chat. Prediction for tonight. Maybe Cam will, don't spoil your Focus 5, but JSN 100 plus yards. Marv bounce back game, 74 yards, 1 touchdown. Michael, you were talking about Marvin Harrison. That's a very odd number, 74. So that's a good
over-under.
Yeah, over-under 74, Michael, tonight for Marvin Harrison. If you had to get a pick, this is a count for an over. Okay.
Give me that.
The Tariq Woolen slander is getting to his head.
From a Seahawks fan commentary. What the fuck are you talking about? Who do you know is a Seahawks fan?
I know a lot of people.
Okay.
I will say in case of emergency, in case we go over, if you have a Focus 5 in the Seahawks Cardinals, I'm not sure if you want to just mention that now. I don't think we'll go over, but maybe we can keep that in mind if we're starting to look close at the end. I don't have anything from this game in mind, but
I do.
Okay.
I do.
Mike, both. Okay. So if it gets to like 8 o'clock, I'll be like, all right, we got to clock in here.
All right.
Before that, we're heading to Dublin, Ireland, Sunday morning, 9:30 a.m. Michael's shaking his head and sticks his tongue out and puts his. What was that?
Zinner?
Throwing up.
He's throwing up. So will you be waking up to watch this game? I will be in transit to my destination, Boost in the Ground game probably. So I won't. Well, maybe we'll get a little streamies in the car.
I'll
But
definitely be up. I'm probably gonna have it on, not really paying attention to it because this is gross. I really don't.
Hype. This is hype.
I hate it's so annoying.
Or in Dublin, like I don't know when the last time they played a game in Ireland, but it hasn't.
They played a college game there this year.
Last year.
And no, this year they did.
They did both last year and this year.
Okay. So what's your Michael? We'll start with your pick for this game. Aaron Rodgers versus Carson Wentz.
Yeah, it's really gross. I think all these overseas games, like they're always bad teams or mid teams playing against bad teams, and they're never good games. Jets go there every other year. They're always terrible games. The Jags always go. The Dolphins always go. It's like the worst teams you could pick to go over there. And I feel like Carson Wentz is going to take a slight to mid step back. I'm going to take the Steelers here. I feel like it's the 1 week backup quarterback boost and then fall way back. I mean, we
like the animation. I like the animation.
Fall out of your chair for the.
You know who Carson Wentz is from the past 9 years since he was towards ACL back in the day. And I feel like the Steelers have been playing a lot of close games. Give them points here, and I'll take it.
So according to the great Wikipedia, this is the first ever game in Ireland. NFL-wise.
Yeah.
So you took Steelers. I'm with you. It's just crapshoot, ugly game. Two good defenses. I think it's going to be low scoring. I'll take the Steelers and the points. I think they will probably try and ride that high from last week. Both these teams are coming off a high where the Vikings might be kind of on autopilot. Where you blow out a team. Steelers had that close win, so they might be still locked in. At the end of the day, I trust Aaron Rodgers at this point, which is crazy to say more than I trust Carson Wentz. Aaron Jones is on the IR now. It's Jordan Mason season. Well, I don't even know who the Steelers have been rotting out like Kenneth Gainwell and shit, but they got DK. I trust. I just think Carson Wentz in a primetime stage like this, although, I don't know if we count 9:30 a.m. as primetime, I just don't think it's going to go well. So I think the Steelers win this game outright. Probably one of my least favorite games to pick, but if I'm picking a side, I'm taking the Steelers and the points in Ireland. Wake up, split the G, 9:30 a.m., watch Aaron Rodgers get this dub. Cam, you've been in vehement disagreement.
So I'll be boots on the ground in the sports book in Vegas at 6:30 in the morning.
You're going to Ireland?
No, I will be in the sports book at 6:30 in the morning watching this game. This is one of my favorite games. Give me the Vikings -2.5. Absolutely. I think this is a massive definition of a letdown spot for the Steelers coming off of a game they shouldn't have won against the Pats that they did. Going into a neutral site location overseas, I think their offense looks absolutely atrocious. And I think the Vikings and Kevin O'Connell can find a way to win with Carl Wentz. Give it to me every single day of the week.
Carl? Give me Carl.
Yeah, Carl.
What is this body clock time, though, for them?
Yeah.
Stop. We're not doing this shit. We're not doing this shit. Give me the Vikings -2.5. One of my favorite picks of the weekend. Thank you.
Okay, so let's play out this scenario. You wake up at 6 a.m. to bet this game, and you put a lot on the Vikings, and then they choke before the slate. Are you pulling back?
We won't put a lot, but we'll put some. Just keep us entertained for the moment.
We love responsible betting. Okay. Next game, 1 p.m. slate. The debut of one Jackson, don't know his middle name, Dart. Going against the Chargers.
Middle name? Don't know his middle name?
I'll look it up for the crowd. But in New York, we saw in New York last week, very disappointing loss, very, kind of blah loss, very, I don't even know the word for it. It was not a great game. Now you welcome another AFC West opponent who beat the team you lost to last week. Justin Herbert is 3-0. Is this a spot where you're looking for a letdown? I say no. In a rookie debut against a tough defense and a coach who knows what he's doing, I'm taking the Chargers minus the 6. I think it's just, I think some of these weeks I've been overthinking, and I'm like, why did I just not take the favorite? I'm taking the favorite, and I think this is a logical bet. If the Giants pull it off and Jackson Dart is him, that's great for him. But how am I going to be able to predict that when I don't even think Jackson Dart's going to be good? Sorry, Giants fans. But I got the Chargers minus 6. Cam, you're nodding in agreement.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think this is not going to be the worst start for Jackson Dart, but it's definitely going to be – it's a tough spot to walk into. I know you're at home. Crowd's probably going to be electric. They've been waiting for him the entire time. But this Chargers teams look very good against very solid competition and divisional opponents all 3 weeks. I think the 6 is honestly kind of short. I would expect it to be like 7.5, honestly. So I love the 6 that we currently have it at. So give me Herbert minus the 6, even though they're going on the road. Don't even bring up the body clock shit, Mike, because I don't want to talk about it. But I'm going to go with that pick. Not sure if you're leaning with me and Dub or what you were thinking.
Yeah, I am. I don't really love the rookie QB coming in against that kind of defense. I would have liked to see at least the fourth quarter of their last week's game to have like a little bit more confidence in Jackson Dart.
Yeah.
Like, give me something.
Yeah.
Like, I get they've put him in for a couple like QB draw plays, but that's
You're
nothing.
legit basing his first start off of his college career and then preseason. Like, there's no evidence on what he's going to do.
And, like, great, you played well against the Jets defense in the preseason. Like, good for you. Great job.
Yeah. Exactly. And then when he has been put in these situations so far this year, we've already talked about it, but it's like one play every 4 drives for like a 2-yard rush. So it's like, like you have no idea what you're walking into, especially against arguably the best defense they've played so far this year. So it's going to be a test for him. I mean, I honestly don't really see this being close. So I think the Chargers minus 6.
What did we put the week at? Didn't we put it at 4.5 over under?
I said 5. Yeah, I think the line was at 4.5, and I said 5. So
I forget what it was, but I don't know if you guys have seen the quarterback camp of Jackson Dart with John Gruden.
Okay.
No.
Well, he's like, Gruden's like, "What's your snap count?" And then he's just like, he just claps. Yeah. This guy is not ready to clock into NFL football. It's going to be a rough start, and I don't know why you start him here when you have the Saints next week. It seems like easier landing spot, especially if you want to switch to I don't know. It felt like a very odd thing there.
I don't love it.
But yeah,
I don't love it.
I was listening the whole time. We're on the Chargers group ride. Love to see it. Next game, probably the best game of the 1 p.m. slate in my opinion. Eagles versus Bucks. Mike Evans is out, but Mike Evans wasn't having a really Mike Evans type year yet. So a little bit shorthanded, but we've seen Emeka Egbuka emerge. We've seen some other guys emerge. I think Sterling.
I think Wirfs is back. I think
Wirfs is potentially back.
Might try and play. I'm not sure about that.
Okay. So the Bucks get the hook here. Cam, we'll start with you. Eagles at Buccaneers in Tampa. What do you think about this one?
I've been pretty high on this Bucks team, I think, throughout the year, but also this Eagles team, even though it hasn't looked great in the first few weeks of the year, I like them at minus 3.5. This Bucks O-line, I'm pretty sure I think that's what I just walked into you guys talking about. I think they're still pretty banged up. I don't think they have their full at least 5. I think it might be maybe 3 or 4 starters that they went into the year with, but I don't know. Like, sure, they can come out with the scrappy one against the Jets, but it's definitely going to be different against the Eagles. This defensive line is arguably one of the best ones or pass rushing teams in the entire league. So I think the Bucs are going to struggle with that, even though I really like Baker and what he's been able to do with all the injuries that the Bucs have had so far. I think Mike Evans is out, or is he questionable?
He's out for a couple of weeks, I think.
He's out, yeah. So it's really just Baker and Egbuka, and then you got to rely on the running game. I think the Eagles can definitely play into that with their strengths on defense. I think the Eagles minus 3.5 is a little short. So, I mean, if I was going to bet it, I'd buy a point to make it 3, just play it a little bit safer. But yeah, I'm going with the Eagles here, minus 3.5.
Michael?
I think I'm going to take the Bucs on this. We've seen them make great plays and have great drives in the fourth quarters of all 3 of their games so far, with game-winning drives in each of them. I don't think this is a game they win, but I think this might be a play where they're down 10 or something, drive down the field, get it to 3, and then like the Eagles get 2 first downs, and that's the end of the game or something like that. Yeah, with Mike Evans being out, with Wirfs maybe coming back, with Godwin maybe coming back, I think there's like a lot up in the air for them. So, and like the Eagles, I know there's been a lot of talk just like about them and about how they're handling themselves and the tush push, and honestly
Blah,
just
blah, blah.
everything around the Eagles is just like dirty, I feel like. But yeah, I think 3.5's a lot, I feel like, for this game. I feel like they're pretty, maybe not evenly matched, but this is a good game to watch.
I agree with you, but the thing is the injuries, at least from my perspective. Like, I agree that I really like this Bucs team. I think it's a relatively evenly matched game between 2 of them if the Bucs are fully healthy. Which
3-0 versus 3-0.
Excuse me?
3-0 versus 3-0.
Okay.
I'm taking the Bucs.
Okay.
Injuries don't concern me that much yet. We'll see how this game plays out, but I think Baker's scrappy enough where he can, like, I'm not worried about Baker playing with like Sterling Shepard as wide receiver too. Like, I think he can get him the ball, and I think there's something to be said for this Eagles team. Like, I feel like they've just been skating by, kind of. They've won all their games by 1 possession, so I guess the Bucs have too, but I think the Bucs can at least cover this game in Florida. And I'd actually, I'm not usually a big weather guy, but I think if it's like a very hot game, I could see that being kind of like a slow down game, and then the Bucs kind of like pull it out, or maybe win outright in like a 23-22 situation or something like that. Like, I think this is gonna be a low scoring game ish, kind of grind it out football. And although there are a couple of guys hurt on the Bucs wide receivers, they still do have Rashad White, and they still have Bucky Irving, who looked pretty good last week. So I trust Baker. I think it feels like whenever the Eagles have played the Bucs have done pretty well. I remember that was the Brady years, though. And then in the playoffs a couple years ago, the Bucs beat them, actually, I think 2 years ago. But I like the Bucs to cover this 3.5. I love the hook here. If it was 3 or 2.5, I might switch my opinion. But I think the 3.5 gives me that kind of momentum for the Bucs to cover the spread and maybe even win this game. I'd be happy if they won this game, because I feel like the Bucs are a fun team that we're all rooting for, and the Eagles are kind of, there feels like there's something off there. I don't know. I can't place it. I like the Bucs to cover this 3.5. Next game, biggest spread of the year so far, 15.5 for the Bills in Buffalo. Michael, we'll kick it to you this time. Can Spencer, the Rattlesnake Rattler, cover 15.5 points against what is a lot of people's consensus number 1 team in the NFL right now?
I don't think that they can. I'm going to take the Bills here. Obviously 15.5 is many, many points.
It's many points.
Many.
There's college lines much worse than this, and I feel like this is one of those kind of games where it's like Alabama versus East Tennessee or whatever. Like, there's no comparison between these teams, and the Bills are, like, obviously, I feel like it helps them against the spread that they kind of had a semi-close game last week against the Dolphins, especially this being on a long week and coming off of that game where I feel like they probably feel like they should have whooped the Dolphins. I feel like they'll want to get back in the lab and whoop the Saints.
See, I didn't pick up that vibe. Like, you guys said, like, it was a close, like, I didn't feel like that was like, oh shit, the Bills should have won by 1,000 game to me. I mean, I probably watched the least of it of all of you, but I didn't really get that vibe. I'm taking the Saints plus 15.5. kind of my thing to just take the big spreads, but I feel like 15.5 is just an egregious amount of points in week 4 of the NFL season. And, it's Spencer Rattler, who I was just shitting on. But, I mean, you mentioned the Bills should have blown out the team last week. They just played. The Saints are coming off a 31-point loss in Seattle. Like, that's pretty embarrassing. I think this is going to be a surprising game. Maybe the Saints are in it for the first half, maybe fall out, lose by 2 touchdowns even. You still cover that. So I think Saints 15.5. I don't love it, but when you're giving me 15.5 in the NFL, I got to take it. So I'm going with the Saints. Cam, break the tie. What do you got here?
Yeah, I'm on the same page as you, Dub. I didn't mean that the Bills were going to blow out the Dolphins by 1,000. I
was more addressing Michael because he keeps saying that. But.
Yeah, I just felt like they were in control of the game, and it was more just like, hey, the better team's going to end up winning this no matter what. Doesn't really know what we're really talking about here. But I couldn't agree more. Saints coming off an embarrassing loss. Probably going to be a little more scrappy. I know it's going to be in Buffalo. 15.5, like you said, is just insane for an NFL spread. So I'm just going to take the dog at 15.5. Like you said, even if the Saints don't play well, they can lose by 2 touchdowns and we still cover. So anytime I get that opportunity, I'm going to take it. Maybe if you even want to parlay it, buy it up to 17. Like, why not? But for our situation, I'm going to take the Saints plus the 15.5.
All right. I've been slacking on my comment game tonight. We've got a couple of comments to catch up on. So from the Dublin game, Rodgers getting sacked at least 3 times and throwing 2 picks. So Mike or Cam, you were on the Vikings. You think this scenario is possible to happen?
Yeah. I mean, Mikey kind of talked about how, especially when you go over into Europe, how the fields are just always kind of in shitty condition. And it's
let me just say one thing first, too. Last year, Jets went to London, played the Vikings. Aaron Rodgers got sacked like 12 times, threw a couple picks, and then Robert Saleh got fired. So
he's on,
what happened last
year. He's on board with Ali's prediction. I mean, that goes kind of coinciding with mine. I'm big on the Vikings. We've talked about their defense. I'm not huge on the Steelers' offense. I think it's extremely possible. We're just going to have to wait and see at 6 a.m.
Okay. Michael, this might be a question for you since you seemingly are in the streets of every fan base. Have you heard the story of Dart and Eli Manning?
Yeah, have you?
I don't think I have.
I haven't either. So if you want to enlighten us.
Eli was like, hey, buddy, if you ever have anything you need to ask me. I can help you out with whatever. And the only thing that Dart asked him was if he could get a reservation at some restaurant in New York City.
Wow, thanks, Ali. That was an awesome fucking story to talk about.
Well, she thinks Dart is immature and in over his head. So, Michael, would you agree with that?
I could see someone making that observation.
Okay. Very non-committal answer there, but okay. Next game is another big spread on the board, double digits for the Lions at home versus the Browns. I'll kick this one off. I'm taking the Lions. Love their ability to kind of handle these spreads. Last year we saw it, and I think the Lions of last year are back. Browns got that, kind of flash in the pan win. They got their one win. I think they're going to drop down to the surface. I really like the Lions to cover the spread. -10 feels like a decent amount. I always like to take the big spreads, but this just feels like I remember the Titans were like +16.5 in Detroit, and I was like, oh, just take the Lions because the Lions have proven to be that team that can just fuck you up and blow you out. I mean, they beat the Ravens in Baltimore by 8, and it should have been more, like we mentioned. I think I don't know who they played week 2. They might have shit kicked them, but not. Maybe not. I'm forgetting at the moment. But I like the Lions. No, that was week 3.
The Bears.
Oh, I think
the Bears. Yeah, they shit kicked the Bears. So I think this is gonna be a similar situation. Like, I honestly think the Bears are a little bit better than the Browns on offense. So it's gonna be them scoring on defense. But I like the Lions to cover this 10. So Cam, what do you think for this game?
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Kind of similar to what we talked about with, forget who it was, but a huge letdown. The Steelers, sorry. I think it's a huge letdown spot for the Browns, coming off a big win against a team that everybody was talking about to be arguably the best team in the entire league. I think they're riding that high a little bit. Going into Detroit, I think Detroit, like you said, Dub, they won against Baltimore by 8. They were up, I think it was 16 before the Ravens scored a back-end touchdown in the 4th quarter. So this offense is, I think they can build off that. I don't really see a letdown spot for them at all. I feel like it's more leaning on the Browns playing 2 tough opponents in back-to-back weeks. And especially this one being in Detroit, I think it's going to be a little bit more of a game changer as opposed to playing at home against the Packers. So I'm going to go with the Lions here minus the 10.
Michael, you seemed aghast that I was taking the Lions. Will you be taking the Browns to break?
Yeah, because you just gave the whole spiel about not taking taking the big spreads.
Well, see, I'm what's the word I'm looking for? I'm adjustable. Like I see situations.
You can adapt.
You're malleable.
Adaptable. I'm adaptable. I'm like a chameleon.
I'm just gonna not group ride with you guys because
perfect.
I feel like
we don't like group
doing that. And taking the Browns because we've seen they held the Broncos to 14 or 17 points or Bengals week 1 to 14 or 17 points. We just saw them hold the Packers to 10. Who's to say they can't do it to the Lions? Probably can't, but giving them a shot with 10 points. Yeah.
So I will say 17 points against the Bengals, correct. 13 points against the Packers, correct.
Yeah, they gave up 41 to whoever.
Both those games at home when they went to Baltimore, 41 points to the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah, but they had like 13 points in the first 3 quarters, and then they just let go of the rope. Like, all right. I don't know.
We'll see what happens. Next one, Commanders, aka the other team name Cam likes to use, head to Atlanta plus 1.5 off that dog shit week last week. Cam, we'll kick it to you here. What do you like for this game? You seem to be a fit NFC South guy, but what do you think?
Well, I was under the impression based off the spread that it was going to be Marcus Mariota starting. That's kind of what I based it off of. I would be very surprised if Jaden Daniels was starting and they would be only favored by 1.5 points.
I have DK pulled up. I'll see if it's changed at all. But
was it Kirk game?
No.
You can't go back to Kirk after that.
So
he played the fourth quarter last
week. As of right now, DraftKings is still holding Falcons plus 1.5.
So that's the thing. So if I'm doing the 1.5, I'm expecting Mariota to start. So if you're listening to this now, I'm betting Mariota starting and the Falcons plus the 1.5. I think they're due for a bounce back after that extremely embarrassing loss to Carolina. I mean, everybody was talking about Carolina being arguably one of the worst teams in the entire league. They get their absolute ass handed to them on the road. Coming back at home now, you got a backup quarterback coming in. I think this might be a tough game for the Skins in Atlanta. I'm going with Falcons plus the 1.5 if Mariota starts. If Jaden starts, I'll take it. I mean, it's going to be a tough loss, but I mean, I'm just under the impression that Mariota's starting based off the spread.
Michael?
Give me the commies in this. I've been saying it. I think I bet it or took it on the spreads that the Falcons are win to lose to type of team. And they're going to lose the second one this week. And the commies, like maybe this is a 13-10 game and they pull it out. I don't really know. I mean, I didn't really watch much of the Falcons this past week, but I heard per sources that
people in the streets of Atlanta
was horrible, worst game of his NFL career. So maybe he has a little bit of bounce back, but I'm riding Falcons train of major ups and major downs. So Commanders here.
I think the thing with Penix, right, is that he's kind of a game manager. No, he's kind of a game manager. So when they get out to a lead, he can just kind of maintain that, like we saw against the Vikings. And then who was their first game? The Tampa. I mean, the Tampa game, he kind of had to be more than a game manager and actually played pretty well that game.
Yeah,
I'm going with the Falcons. I just think even if Jaden Daniels starts, like the last time we saw Jaden Daniels was that kind of anemic game. Granted, it was against the Packers defense, but they've played the Giants week 1. They didn't put up a lot of points. So I think Penix can kind of just I think you need to. If you're Washington, you want a good early start. I mean, not Washington, Atlanta, you want like a 7-0 start, and I think you can just kind of take the reins from there. We haven't seen, for me, I haven't seen that Jaden Daniels explosiveness that we saw last year. Like, I'm not worried about him dropping like 40 on the Falcons. So I'm taking the Falcons. And if Mariota starts, like Atlanta knows a lot about him as well. Granted, I said that last week, but Atlanta has like an actual formidable defense. So somewhat formidable. I'm going with the Falcons. This is really like the biggest crapshoot game of the day for me.
Agreed.
So I'm just going to go with the home team and the points, 1.5. So that's where I'm at. We go to an AFC South divisional matchup. Michael, the train we stopped last week. You got off the train. You got off the stop. So will we get back on the train of the Titans, or are you going to be waiting for the train to come back and pick you up here and get right back on?
I feel like we have had a lot of other trains stopping at the Titans station and dumping off a load of shit and then heading on their way. And I think the Texans are going to do that. They're going to go in, shit on them a bit, and leave out of there with probably a big win. They need it. They need the bump in confidence. Like, they're not a horrible team, even though they're 3-0 or 0-3. Sorry.
3-0, horrible team.
Titans are gonna get some wins eventually this year, but I don't think it's this week, and I don't really think it'll be close.
Cam, your pick is obvious, so go ahead.
Yeah, give me the Texans -7. This could be at -10.5. Please and thank you. At home, at Houston, 0-3. Need a win. This is a perfect get right spot. Like I said, I was expecting it last week, and then you end up 2-2, and you're back in the hunt. But this is a huge spot for the Texans. Titans, I don't really think give a shit, or they're not in spoiler mode. It's way too early to be doing that in week 4. Divisional matchup. Give me Texans. CJ Stroud's been shit on a lot. I think he has a big game, and you already know my feelings about the Titans. So this is one of my easier picks of the week.
So
break the tie. Perfect. Or break the
I will. I'll be taking the Texans.
All right. Team rally. All right. I like it.
Week 3, I think last year was the week that I took the Titans against the Packers with the Malik Willis. Then I gave up on them after that. I may be doing the same thing this year, but they just haven't been able to show me that they're even like the Broncos game. Actually, like I know you're going to say Cam, but the Broncos game I thought was actually like a pretty good showing from them. Turns out the Broncos maybe aren't as good as we thought they were. So I think this is perfect spot for the Texans, even though last week I thought this was a perfect spot for the Texans as well. So if the Texans aren't able to cover the spread, I'm going to be pretty fucking weary on betting them again. But I think the Texans get this done. It makes too much sense for them not to. Like I just don't even see them, like they have to win this game by a lot, or else there's going to be a lot of questions asked on that fan base. And I mean, you made the playoffs 2 years in a row, and now all of a sudden you're just falling out of it year 3. I feel like it's got to be a win for the Texans here, but we'll see. And I'm not banning the Titans yet. I did add Pacheco touchdown to the ban list, but I think that was last week. So ban list, only 2 things right now. Next game, boots on the ground game.
The last team to make the playoffs after an 0-3 start was the Houston Texans.
Okay, now get there.
Fun fact.
Boots on the ground game. Panthers, Patriots. I will be in attendance. I'm going to start this one out. I just think too much sense. Patriots -5.5. Panthers 30-0 win. They're not that good. I think the Falcons game is just an enigma, and the Patriots have to prove that there's something, and they need to win this game as well. I think back-to-back home games, like I don't think the fan base has given up yet. Like I think we were all just kind of disappointed. Like I explained, I wasn't disappointed. I wasn't mad. I was disappointed. I think we've all been there with our parents, whatever, to make that analogy. But it feels like the Patriots will win this game by 2 scores, maybe 10 points, 14 points. Like I don't trust the Panthers at all at this point, which is crazy considering they just won a game 30-0. But you're going off to New England. I feel like the Patriots have always played the Panthers pretty well, kind of smoked them. So I think for my sake, I'll take the Patriots. Got to take the Patriots. Boots in the ground. Cam, go ahead because we know what you're taking about.
Yeah, definitely the Pats -5.5. We have a podcast member, boots on the ground, fucking screaming his ass off for the Pats. Like you said, couldn't be a better script for him. Coming off a tough loss at home, which they should have won. Obviously, a lot of pressure on them to continue with a little bit more success this year with Mike Vrabel and the second-year projections we have with Drake May. Carolina coming off a 30-0 win at home. Obviously, been playing terrible on the road. I think 5.5 is honestly pretty short, even though the Pats are 1-2. but I will love the Pats minus 5.5. It's difficult to talk about like player props, obviously, with the Pats because it's like the Josh McDaniels offense just with Tom. So it's kind of difficult to do that. So you probably won't see that in the Focus 5. But Pats winning this game, I feel like it's one of my favorite bets of the entire weekend. Arguably the biggest bet that I'm going to make in Vegas coming up. So we're going to hopefully pull it out. It's going to be, like you said, they play the Panthers pretty well, relatively year in, year out. So I'm not too concerned, especially with Bryce Young thinking that everybody had a great game. He threw for 120 yards. I don't think. And the biggest, like, flaw in the Patriots defense, at least from the first 3 weeks that I've seen, has been defending the pass. I feel like they actually do a decent job against the run, and I don't trust Bryce Young to throw it for 30 attempts and complete 25 and then a couple of touchdowns. I just don't see that happening. If you're going to give me a matchup between Drake May and Bryce Young, I'll take Drake May every day of the week. So give me the Pats minus 5.5.
Michael,
You're going to make me go? Or you're already?
you're the one who wasn't given a pick.
Yeah, so I'm gonna take the Panthers.
Obviously,
I feel like what have the Patriots done to deserve 5.5 points in this game?
that's the point.
What do you mean that's the point?
Why would they be minus 5.5 and the Panthers just won by 30? That makes no sense. So obviously take the Patriots. People are going to be betting the Panthers this game, man. Oracle Vision, the Oracle might really say the Patriots this week.
All right. Good for the Oracle. I like the Panthers here. They are a team that plays football in the NFL, and they are not the Patriots. And I'm doing it to not group ride with the gang here. So yeah, taking the Panthers. I actually have some confidence that they'll be able to cover this, even if it's like a backdoor. Because 5.5 is like a weird spot where even if they get it to even if they get it to 5 at the end of the game, they'll go for 2, and if they miss it, it won't matter. It'll still be 5. So, yeah, you know how that happens sometimes.
That's kind of perfect, though, Dub. I didn't want a team ride on that, so I'm good with that. Mikey, thank you for picking the Panthers. I think you did that.
I think they did that exact thing you just said to the Cardinals 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. So
anyways,
they got that down.
Okay.
Moving ahead to another game, the Indianapolis Colts versus the Los Angeles Rams. Rams get the hook, 3.5. I'm trying to see if this is okay. So this is the 4:00 slate now, 4:05 p.m. Colts 2-0 or 3-0. Cam, will you be two divisions you hate, the NFC West and the AFC South? Who do you like out of this matchup between the Colts and the Rams with the hook?
I love the Rams in this. We talked about the Colts, who they played against and their records currently. I think this is definitely a wake-up call for them. I think the Rams, like you said, I've been very anti-NFC West, but this Rams team, I think, is the top of the class out of all the 4 teams in that division. So I'm very confident with them being at home against a team that's played against shitty competition, all the hype around them. I think the Rams kind of punch them in the teeth. And even if with the hook, I don't really give a shit. I think I would even take it probably minus 6.5. Never mind 3.5. So give me the Rams on this one.
Michael?
Yeah, I'm the same way as Cam. I don't think the Colts are going to be like the Saints of last year, how they take the league by storm and then fall off and face a cliff. But they are going to start losing some games and come back down to earth, come back to the pack. And I think it starts here.
Unfortunately, I'll be group riding with the Rams. Just going to keep betting against the Colts until they lose eventually, which I do think is going to happen. If Daniel Jones is 4-0 after a win over the Rams, that's when I'll say, you know what? I think that's an impressive team, but I think this could be a really big letdown spot. Like you said, Cam, I think this could be a Rams 10-point victory. I'm not going to bet it up that high, but when you give me 3.5, I think the Rams can pull this off, even in weird scenarios where they only win by 5 or 6.
I don't know if this is like a letdown spot though. Like I feel like it's like
they're 3-0.
acceptable loss spot.
Yeah, but it's like you're 3-0, you have high expectations. All of a sudden, like this Rams team
But
is.
if you're
You
a
have way
Colts
too
fan,
many
do you
people-
really have high expectations?
You have way too many people talking about you right now.
Yeah,
Wait.
I feel like this is a needed loss for them.
Needed loss. Okay. I don't know. I think it's a letdown when you're 3-0, and then all of a sudden, I'm gonna look at the Colts schedule, but you lose the Rams in LA, and then all of a sudden you're going to they have an easy schedule.
Yeah,
You got the Raiders at home, the Cardinals at home. So I think this is gonna be definitely a loss because they have 2 easy games following right up. All right. Another 4 o'clock game.
Colts.
I would hate that. Next game, another 4 o'clock game. Looks like it's going to be Brock Purdy returning for the 49ers. Michael, our Jaguars head into San Francisco with the hook. What do you say here? A lot of 3.5s on this board. So what do you think for the Jaguars' chances in San Francisco?
Yeah, this is an easy easy Jaguars bet. They're part of my DOUF for later, and also part of my Focus 5. Jaguars are a team that I feel like they're just going to be scrappy. They're not going to look pretty. It's not going to be great. 49ers, bunch of injuries last week. I don't know how healthy Brock Purdy is. Even when he is healthy, I'm not a huge fan. It'll be an interesting game. I'm definitely going to watch this one because I'll have a lot going on it. But yeah, I'm taking Jags here.
You say that now, but when we see you next week, you'll be like, I watched one game.
Nah, I'll be at the bars.
All right, I'll be glad. I like the Jags as well. The hook, I feel like I'm just taking all the hook. Well, I took the Rams, but I like the 3.5. I think this offense looks a little shaky with Purdy getting back into it after having Mac. Like I think they are a little bit different at quarterback, especially if Mac.
So we got an official confirmation on Brock starting.
I see projected fantasy points for Brock. So that's what I'm going off because I have him in our league.
Okay.
I'll do some research while you give your pick. But I like. Well, Jags also have the most film on Mac, so if it's Mac, I like the Jags even more. I might take the Jags money line to be honest, even though I love Mac, but I think the Jags.
Okay.
It is, but I think we can like people that lose games. So I think Jags. I like them a lot this year. That being 3-1 would be crazy, but I do think this will be a game that comes down to less. I feel like the 4 o'clock games have been hitting this season, where like they've been coming down to the wire as well. Some of them they're just blowouts, but. I like the Jags cover this 3.5. Cam, you've been kind of anti the Jags, but what do you think?
Yeah, I'm going with the Niners here, whether it's Mac or Brock. I have a little wrinkle in the Focus 5 for that, but I honestly
stop with this.
I love it even more if Mac's starting. I think Brock starting is a bad decision. For the spread bettors, it might be good for the 49ers overall, getting a nice little win against the Jags. I can't see the Niners losing this game against the Jaguars either way. So I'm going to go with the 3.5. I know I don't love the 3.5. Probably buy it down to 3 if you are going to buy or if you are going to bet against the spread. But for the sake of the podcast, I'm going to go with the Niners minus the 3.5 here.
So I'm seeing a report from Yahoo Sports. 49ers Brock Purdy, quote unquote, on good track for week 4 injury return. So it looks like he's going to be playing most likely.
I see that he has a, quote, real chance to play.
Yeah, I see that also from Niners Nation.
Who the fuck are your sources? Are you boots on the ground in every beat reporter's team in the NFL?
He's asking AI. I mean, this is the latest we've ever done. We've never done a Thursday episode, so we're not going to get more clarity than we have right now. So the picks are in. Okay, so another split board there. We've been kind of teasing this game up for a while. The Ravens and the Chiefs. I'm going to start this one out. I'm going to take the purple, man. I don't know. I just think the Chiefs have clearly shown that there's a step down in what they've been doing this year. Feels like the Chiefs dynasty of old would have won that game, especially against the Eagles. The Chargers kind of just punched them in the mouth, but Giants game, I thought they could have won that game by more as well. Like the offense hasn't been that impressive to me, where I'm not going to really worry about Lamar Jackson at this point. Like even in that loss, they put up 30, granted, backdoor 30, whatever. But I think the Ravens will get back on track, and I think Vegas, who traditionally loves the Chiefs, is giving them 2.5 points at home. That feels kind of sus to me that the Ravens might be actually really good and it just had 2 tough losses where the Chiefs have kind of taken a downfall. So I'm reading the tea leaves a little bit, and I'm taking the team I like better at this point. I'm taking the Ravens minus 2.5. 2.5 is kind of in that range where I'm just taking the team I like better. On the road, though, so I could see this going either way. It's going to be a great game to watch. I'm excited for this game, but I got the Ravens minus 2.5. Chiefs starting 1-3 would be cinema. Ravens starting 1-3 would be actually kind of sad. So that's where my head's at for this one. Cam, what do you think? Same thing.
Yeah, I'm on the same page as you, kind of basing it off of who do I trust more. Essentially, I think anything less than 3 is kind of a pick 'em at this point, just because you don't see too many games end in 2 to 1 points, at least the majority of them. And I like the Ravens a lot, even though they're going on the road. Mikey kind of brought it up earlier where maybe that 1-2 start has kind of affected how the sports books, I mean, they obviously are the Kings, like they know what they're talking about, but I feel like this Ravens team's outperformed the Chiefs by a massive margin, and I would love the Ravens at minus 2.5 here. Not much more to add, but I do think that the Chiefs, I don't know if the Chiefs dynasty is over, but at the same time, it's difficult to be, if you're picking against between Lamar and his weapons and Patrick and his, I feel like it's a clear cut. You're weaning Ravens every single time. Like, they established the running game. I feel like they have better weapons on the outside. And also, I feel like their defense is better. I think we talked about it in that Week 0 podcast where I feel like the Ravens improved a lot more as opposed to a lot of the other teams in the AFC where they just kept the same guys and then extended them. I think the Ravens made significant additions and I don't know if Jair Alexander is supposed to be back or we talked about the injuries in the previous segment too on the pass rushing statement, but maybe like if they get those guys back, like it should be, I think the Ravens, I honestly thought this would be closer to 5.5 based off of how the Ravens have played. But like Mikey said, the record can kind of influence what the spread is for the next week. So even though they're on the road, I'm going to go with the Ravens minus the 2.5.
Michael?
Yeah, I really don't want to group ride this because I feel like this game has too much going on in terms of just like overall NFL storylines. I also don't really see the Chiefs starting 1-3. So I'm gonna take the Chiefs here as underdogs against the spread. They're 8-5 in the last 5 years. That gives you a little solace in maybe taking the Chiefs as underdogs. I don't know. I don't really love it, but I know that the Ravens have like a propensity to hang around in games that they shouldn't. Like I feel like we know that overall this Ravens team has the capabilities of being much better than the Chiefs as they're currently constructed with their injuries and suspensions. But I don't love that we're all on Ravens, so I'm taking the Chiefs.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Cheers to you, Dub. Love
Cheers,
that.
man. No group rides are allowed, I guess. All right. Last game of the 4 o'clock slate. The Chicago Bears head to the Vegas Raiders. Cam, we'll kick it back to you here. Raiders minus 1.5 in your place you'll be at. Will you be at this game? Probably not.
Quasi boots on the ground. I will
in the vicinity.
Yes, exactly. I'll be in walking distance. I will not be in the stadium. I think this is a huge letdown spot for the Bears coming off that big win last week. I think they had way too much success against a team that they probably should have had that, but at the same time, this Raiders team's a little scrappy, not just because they beat the Pats, but I mean, there's definitely – they just haven't put all the pieces together. I think they have stars, but they don't know how to bring in – they haven't brought in the talent yet to support them. Like they have Max Crosby on the defensive side of the ball. On offense, I really love Brock Bowers, and then also I'm a huge fan of Jacoby. Not that he's a star, but I think he's a huge plug-and-play guy. I don't know. This Bears team just seems like very, like kind of Mikey said. I forget what team he mentioned. It might be the Falcons. I forget. But they're going to either have really high highs or they're going to have really low lows. And I think this is a really low low for them where they end up losing against a team that they probably should beat. But I don't know. I don't have any faith in Caleb. They seem like a very up and down team, and I feel like this is kind of due after probably his biggest win of his career, at least against how many points he scored versus the other team. So I'm probably expecting Caleb to throw a few picks. I'm going with the Raiders plus the 1.5.
All right, I was going to cut to Michael, but he went black screen. I'm actually doing the opposite.
My phone's on 6%, so my phone's on 6%, and it's charging, and it's like 1,000 degrees, so it's not actually charging.
There we go.
But
we got you.
Yeah, so I'm taking the Raiders. At home, they have like semi home field advantage. Like they didn't for a while, but I feel like the street's saying it's coming back.
He's captain.
The Reddit, sorry.
And like Cam was saying, big letdown spot for the Bears. Big win, emotional win, I feel like. And you're going against the seasoned head coach that knows how to beat, like, basically, Caleb's obviously not a rookie, but he's still playing like one. So Pete Carroll knows how to beat rookie quarterbacks, and yeah, taking the Raiders.
I'm taking the Bears. Asked the Raiders expert. I have an actual Raiders expert fan. I'm just going to ask him what he thinks about the game each week. And then last week he told me not to take him against the Commanders. That obviously was a fail on my part. Didn't listen this time. I'm listening. He didn't have faith that they'd beat the Bears. So I'm taking the Bears. I think the offensive line has been really bad. I do expect somewhat of a bounce back from Genty, but I think Caleb, he's one of those guys who needs those like emotional wins. So I think him like coming back and having 4 touchdowns, that might boost his confidence a little bit. And I feel like Geno has been just as bad as Caleb has been, as crazy as that sounds. Like even against the pass, he had like one good drive, but he's making like wild throws. So I think the Bears can get this done, get back to 2-2, be kind of that team that we were expecting them to be a little bit. Well, I was kind of just expecting to be mid, but all right, there's 4:00 Sunday Night Football. We already had the whole promo. Micah Parsons returned to Dallas. I think that's the whole reason why this game is happening, or I guess this game is scheduled pre-trade. But Michael, we're starting with the black screen.
Still here.
Okay. I know you're still here.
DC.
No,
Cowboys.
Yeah, I love the Cowboys here. Just kidding. I hate the Cowboys here. I'm full on the Packers. Emotional letdown game. I have a little bit of I wanted to do a little, or actually I did do it. Parlay in this game for Focus 5. I feel like whenever you get the storylines of games, you just got to follow the storylines, and obvious storyline of Packers, Micah Parsons. Yeah. Especially after that loss last week, I feel like it's a big time. Also, Cowboys defense, 32nd in the league. Obviously, they're horrible. Let up 1 million points to the Giants, who suck. I forget who they played week 1, but they let up 1 million points.
They let up 21 or so to the Commanders.
It's going to be bad, I think, but we'll see what happens.
I agree with you. I think it's going to be bad. I think the Packers win this game by a lot. Well, not a lot, maybe like 10 points. Yeah, just haven't seen anything with the Cowboys, like other than the week 1 performance where like that rain delay kind of made things a little bit weird. I think it's going to be a lot of points scored for the Packers, especially, but I'm not sure if the Cowboys can keep up, especially with Micah like wreaking havoc. I know he says it's like not a big deal, but we all know it's a big deal to him. So I got the Packers to win this game by 7+. I like the number at 7 exactly too, as it is right now. So I'm thinking the Packers get this done pretty easily on Sunday Night Football. Cam, you've been
I couldn't agree more. Team right on this one. Me and Mikey might have something very similar in the Focus 5, kind of teasing our next segment, but follow the storylines. I don't see the Cowboys competing with this Green Bay team, especially after a loss to the Browns that they're definitely embarrassed about. One of the worst teams in the league going into the year. In the Cowboys, like Mikey said, I think 32nd, or maybe it was but 32nd in the league when it comes to defense, in yards allowed and also points allowed. But yeah, definitely give me the Green Bay Packers on a bounce back week, -7. Please and thank you.
Okay. Monday night doubleheader, where we will see one of the podcast's fandoms be put to the test, where the New York Jets visit the Miami Dolphins. I'm going to start this one out. I'm taking the Miami Dolphins in Miami. And I'm looking at the odds now. It looks like Fields is going to play. That's fine. I just haven't seen it from this Jets team. Like, I think especially last week, that loss.
You seen it from the Dolphins, though?
Yes.
When?
Against the Patriots and against the Bills.
Okay.
You didn't watch the Bills game. You said that. You're capping.
I saw
Fake
something
cap on your head.
in the box score. No, I just think in Miami, Miami does well early. I'm just not giving up on Miami like everyone else is. Like, I think they're still, like, they're not a formidable team even, but I think they're a step above the Jets at this point. Jets have just been, last week you have the close loss, whatever, but in week one. But even if it comes down to, I think maybe like Dolphins game winning field goal, like 21-21, Dolphins win 24-21. I feel like Miami in the summer weather has always played well traditionally coming out of the year, and they showed me last week that they're willing to fight for their coach. And Michael, you predicted Mike McDaniel would be fired. He's still the head coach. I think they like the guy enough to play for him. Tyreek kind of got involved against the Patriots a little bit, and I think I didn't fully check the stats last week, but I think he had a touchdown. So I think the Dolphins win this game. Granted, it's 2-0-3 teams. Anything can happen. It's not a pick I'm bringing to the bank and probably won't even bet this game. But if I'm picking against this spread, I'm taking the Miami Dolphins. And if Tyrod plays, I like the Dolphins even more. So that's where I'm at for this one. Cam, we'll kick it to you.
I'm going Jets plus 2.5. You brought up the fact of playing in Miami. It's a Monday night game. It's not going to be as hot. I think it's going to be a nice, cool little.
There is an aura though to Miami, and that's
fair. There is, but I mean, I definitely am way more confident in this Jets team scoring the rock as opposed to this Dolphins team. And also their defense is atrocious. Not that the Jets is significantly better, but I mean, definitely with like the huge names on the defensive side of the ball for the Jets. I'm leaning Jets plus 2.5. If Fields plays, I love that even more. Even with Tyrod, I'm still comfortable playing the 2.5 with the Jets here. So definitely giving the Jets in Miami, Monday Night Football. Why not? Who says no? I know not Mikey.
Definitely not me.
You're taking the Jets. You're on the bandwagon. I take the Jets every week.
I know it's worked against the spread. 2-1.
He's hovering over that 500 line. That's his goal, above 500.
I don't know how you watch the Dolphins at all this year and say they deserve points in any game against any team other than the Titans. Wait,
repeat that.
I don't know how they get points over any team other than the Titans.
Perfect. Thank you.
That's what I said. Yeah, like obviously the Jets got a lot to play for. Dolphins, you can tell me that Mike McDaniel's fired on Tuesday morning. I believe you. It's gonna happen before week 8. I know it. Like the writing's on the wall there. And it's like, even if it's Tyrod didn't play horribly against the Bucs, who have a decent defense, and I don't know if Fields is playing for sure. I know they were non-committal yesterday. But I mean, I'm gonna take the Jets here because I believe that they can win the game for one, and also even if they don't, it's gonna be some bullshit at the end of the clock, like a 75-yard field goal to win by 2 or whatever. But
okay, all right. Some different opinions there. Okay, last game is a doubleheader, but this one does not start at 10 p.m. Cam, you get to end us out here. Bengals visiting the Broncos. Bengals plus 7.5. Jake Browning did not appear to be good last week. Bo Nix has not been winning games either. So what do you think for this game? Bengals, Broncos.
I know we talked about how we're anti-Broncos, but also the Bengals' performance last week doesn't give me any sign of encouragement going into this week on the road. I'm going to have to lean with the Broncos minus the 7.5. I'm probably going to regret it. Probably not even going to touch it. But for the sake of the podcast, obviously just going to make a pick to make a pick. Don't love the hook here either at 7.5. But like Mikey said last year, I didn't honestly realize it until you brought it up. But they either lose close games or they blow out teams. And I could see this being a blowout win, get back on track. I'm leaning towards the Broncos in this one. Kind of curious to see what everybody else has to think, but I'm going to stick with my gut. I like Bo Nix over Jake Browning. Give me the Broncos here at home.
Yeah, I lean more towards the hook, just 7.5. And I'm still a Jake Brown believer, or Jake Browning. I think that last week was kind of just, he had that hero moment against the Jags. He was kind of due for a downfall, although granted that was a really bad downfall last week. But they're showing confidence in him. They're not trading for anybody. They're not signing. Oh, they did sign the 2 guys to the practice squad, but it's Sean Clifford. Sean Clifford's not starting for the Broncos or Bengals. And I'm out on the Broncos. I don't remember them blowing out a lot of teams last year, particularly. So I think this is going to be close, especially on Monday night. I remember a specific, very close game between the Browns and the Broncos late in the season for the Broncos. I think the Bengals will cover the spread 7.5. Not sure they'll win the game, but I do like the Bengals to cover. Michael, I keep having to kick you out because you're just a black screen.
No, I'm here.
Okay.
I just have
Bengals,
to have my
Broncos.
phone plugged in now because yeah.
Okay.
Sorry. Yeah, I'm taking the Bengals here. I think this is a get back spot for Jake Browning. Broncos downfall incoming, maybe. I don't actually think so. I think they're still a good football team, but I think this will be a high scoring game. The Broncos defense hasn't been as great as it was last year, early on this year. I think it could be high scoring and a lot of yards. Yeah, we'll see on Monday night late, but I think this will be a good game. So I'm taking the Bengals.
It's not that late. It's at 8:30, I think.
All right.
Yeah, it's not the 7-10 split. It's a little different.
Well,
it's good. Actually.
Well,
8:15. Your Jets are on at 7:15, and this is on at 8:15.
Yeah, I know. Come on.
Okay, sorry.
Come on.
All right, that wraps up our picks for week 4. So a lot of variety across the board. I'm interested to see who ends up on top this week. Hopefully, for my sake, I can get some good wins, get back in the positive. But luckily for me,
it would take a lot of good wins to do that, kid.
It would. And I feel actually,
Mikey has one fucking good week out of a year and 4 weeks of podcasting, and he's all high and mighty.
I saw this slate and I was like, I hate this slate. But then by the time I made my picks, I was like, I actually like a lot of these picks. So we'll see what I end up betting. Hopefully we make money for the weekend. Before we get to our Focus 5, we have the DOUF. So Mark and Tendy called in earlier. Cam, unfortunately, you've been iced this week. So
can I provide advice or no?
You can just we'll give our picks and you say if you like it or not, and then that's it. We can't.
Okay.
I feel like you shouldn't influence our picks.
All right.
My picks are already locked in stone.
Okay, so we'll start with you. Give us your dog spread. So first, let's clarify. So this is going to be a team challenge from now on. So right now, Tendy and Mark are at 4-4, and Dubcast team is at 3-5. So we're one.
Come on, guys.
That was my fault. That was my fault. So give us your dog for week 4.
For the dog of the week, I'm going to be taking the Jacksonville Jaguars at plus 3.5 against the 49ers.
I like that pick. Had it as well. But I had a pick I liked a little bit more. It's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers plus 3.5 against the Philadelphia Eagles. I think that's going to be a close game. Both taking the hook, so I like that. Over under, I actually had an over. So I'll start with my over. For the over, I'm taking Browns Lions over 44.5. It's gonna maybe be mucky, but I think the Lions will put up at least 31 to 40 points. So I like the Lions to cover that over almost by themselves, and I'm banking on the Lions scoring at least one. I mean, the Browns to score 1 or 2 touchdowns. That's my over. What's your over, Michael?
Don't love it, if I'm being honest.
That's good.
That's all right. I'm taking the over of the Green Bay Packers and the Dallas Cowboys, which is at 47.5. I think this is going to be a game not as like the Cowboys Giants game of 2 weeks ago, but I could see the Packers putting up numbers like the Giants did that week. I don't really see it from the Cowboys, but they need 2 touchdowns maybe to make this an over. So, yeah.
Okay. We'll kick it back to you with your under.
My under, I'm going to be taking the Jets and the Dolphins, 44.5. Think it's going to be a run first game. Both of these offenses super run first. Jets do let up big plays. Hopefully they'll be able to keep Tyreek and Waddle and A-Chain honestly out of the backfield in check. If they're able to do that, I think this is a clear under game.
My under's a little bit sketchy. Chargers, Giants. I'm going with the other New York team. The Chargers haven't scored a lot of points in any of their games, and I don't think the Giants are due to score a lot of points with Dart. I think they'll have a similar output with Russell Wilson, maybe even worse. It is a low number, so that is a little bit concerning, but I could see this being like a 17-6 win for the Chargers, something like that. For the favorite, I might need a minute because there's a couple I'm deciding between.
I got
what
mine.
What did Tendy and Mark pick for the favorite, if we remember?
I didn't write
Let me
it down.
Let me check the chat.
I think Mark put his in, but I don't know if we had Tendies on record.
I have my favorite ready to go, so I'll just go for it.
Yeah, rip it.
I'm taking the Chargers over the Giants at that six number. I think we had it, or 6.5. Yeah, you had 6. Yeah, taking the Chargers 6. Like you were saying just now, I don't really feel like the Giants are gonna have much going on offense. With Dart starting. And I think the Chargers are just like sort of a well-rounded football team who can do what they want when they want. Don't love the Najee injury for them, but I think they can get it done against this Giants team that's not very good.
So Tendy's favorite was the Skins, -1.
Okay.
Mark's is DVD. I don't know that off the top of my head wherever you said in the pod, but
I'm deciding between the Rams or the Texans. I feel like he might have taken Rams.
The Texans, come on.
Yeah. What do you mean, come on?
I'll take the Texans for the Dubcast group ride.
We did. I think we group rode that.
Yeah, we did, but I mean,
we group rode that.
All right, so there's the DOUF. We're a game behind, but we got a whole season ahead of us.
Locked in, all right?
Yeah.
Good job.
What do you think of our picks, Cams?
I had a couple of questionable decisions. Some of the games I agreed with, some of them I didn't. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I think I went 2-2 or 3-1. 2-2.
Everyone went 2-2 except for me. I was 1-3.
Okay. Yeah. So I mean, hey, like it's kind of a crapshoot, but I have faith in you guys. Mikey coming off a hot week, Dubs do. I mean, who says no?
Let's go.
Not me.
Team Dubcast. All right, it's time for the Focus 5 where Cam, rough week.
Yeah. Well, no, sorry. I was looking at the time, so I also have one for tonight, so I might have to place that real quick.
All right. Well, last week you placed all your Focus 5 and lost all of them. -5 units. Michael, you're laughing as well, but you only had one.
I didn't do much better.
-2.9 units, basically -3 units. The Dubcast, the host, won +6.58 units, hit 3 parlays. Let's go, boys. So on the year to date, Cam, you'll be leading us off as well on the Focus 5 because on the year to date, you're at +0.46 units. So you've made almost half a unit this season with your Focus 5. Need a couple of these parlays to hit for the people. Looks like you're placing a bet right now. So Michael, you're down to +0.682 units. I'm at plus almost 16 units on the season. So Focus 5 has been good for me, although the picks haven't been great. So
I'm back.
Cam,
start.
Okay. Yeah, we'll start with you. You've made the viewers almost half a unit. Like they have the same amount that they started their season with in their bank accounts. Let's go. We gotta get some good picks here.
I know. It's all right. So we're gonna start with tonight's game. Like I said, kind of practice this every week. I like to spread it out so I can follow game by game. I usually do a Thursday, a few Sunday, one Monday. Thursday night, tonight, within the next half an hour, I just placed Got the Seahawks money line. And I'm feeling a Cooper Kupp tutty. I don't know why. I have that gut feeling. I think it's going to be – I'm hoping for an interesting game. Like I talked about, it's either going to be kind of high flying or it's going to be dog shit. So if it's high flying, I like Cooper Kupp with better odds than Jigba to score. That's at plus 478 when I looked at it. I think I used the profit boost on it, so it was at like plus 750, which was nice. But yeah, so that's the first one. Second, we're going to do a little money line parlay in the 1 o'clock slate. Chargers. We've already talked about them going against Jackson Dart, rookie quarterback. Texans, get right spot against the worst team in the league. And Pats in the money line parlay against Carolina. Get back spot against the Steelers that they lost to last week. Carolina coming off a huge win. All three of those probably going to be my biggest bet of the weekend. Is going to be at plus 137 is what I saw earlier this afternoon. Third one, we're going to do a little Patriots specific. I'm in Vegas. I'm going to try and be throwing a little money around, especially I bet with my heart, not my head, especially when it comes to the Pats. So I'm going with Pats money line and Drake 2+ tutties passing. I'm going to go with plus 120 there. So I love that. I think they score a lot of points, even though kind of like what Tendy said, where his under was the Pats and Panthers. I actually love the over. That's what I put in my DOUF if I was selected. Just reeks of the under, where it seems like both the Pats defense has not played great. Christian Gonzalez, it seems like he might be back, but I haven't heard a confirmation that he will be. Panthers defense is also fucking atrocious. So I like the over in that. So Drake 2+ tutties, not bad. 4 is a little bit of an asterisk next to it. It's going to be the Niners money line, no matter what. And then it's either going to be Mac Jones, 2+ tutties, going to ride that wave. If he's not playing, we're going to do 49ers win and Brock Purdy to throw 2 picks. 2+ picks.
Okay.
Okay.
I respect
a little
it.
interesting, but we don't
If
know
you
the
actually
value on
place
that.
these, please send the odds if you remember.
Yeah, I was going to say, we'll keep up with the odds next week when we get to next week's podcast.
No, we need them
4th.
Sunday.
Oh, no, sorry, that was the 4th. So 5th is going to be the Sunday night game. I actually didn't touch Monday night because I didn't like either of those games. So Sunday night, I decided to go with Packers money line. I went with Josh Jacobs to score a touchdown. Didn't score last week. Didn't end up extending his record for every single or consecutive game scoring a touchdown. So I love him scoring in the paint this week. And then a Micah sack, which I think Mikey was what he was alluding to earlier on in the podcast, going against the Cowboys. All three of those in a parlay is plus 168. So that wraps up my Focus 5. But I think the last one in the Pats money line, Drake 2+ tutties, is going to be 2 of my biggest bets of the weekend.
What was that last one? Say that again.
Last one is Packers money line. Josh Jacobs to score, and then Micah to record a sack at plus 168.
Okay.
Nice.
Michael, the floor is yours. Somewhat successful Focus 5 this year.
I kind of took very similar 2 of mine, the Cams. For tonight's game, I have a parlay predicting high-scoring game. I don't have the odds for this one because for some reason the purple wouldn't let me put it in a same-game parlay. But
you also don't live in the purple.
But I can still check odds. So I have both teams hitting their first half overs in this game, which are both 10.5. I think it's going to be a high scoring game. The Seahawks over is plus 110. Cards was plus 120. So whatever that makes the parlay.
Probably around 4.
Wait, or do you got it?
I'm trying to look for this. I don't even know if this is.
I can do it, Dub, if you want to.
All right, I'm going to keep going then.
Spreads. So over 10.5 for the Cardinals, over 10.5 for the Seahawks.
Yep.
Okay. And something else?
No, that was it.
Okay, plus 385.
Goddamn. Just dropped my pen. All right, yeah, so 385, wonderful. Love to hear it. Yeah, so my next one, taking a little bit different of a direction than Cam, but I'm going to be taking the Panthers at their +5 number. And I'm also taking the over in this game, which was 42.5 that I saw. And that was +260, which I feel like is good money for that. And then my Packers Sunday Night Football bet is Parsons to get a sack and the Packers on their spread, which was 7, and that was +160. So only 8 points lower than what Cam's parlay was. And then I have 2 Monday Night Football bets, one from each game. We're going to take the Jets money line and a Justin Fields if he's playing rushing touchdown. That's +350.
I like that.
And then this other one's crazy. Don't know why I did it, but we're here. We're living.
That's always good advice for the.
We're taking the Bengals at their +7.5 number, and we're taking over 300 passing yards for one Jake Browning.
Wow. Okay.
High
Against
flying.
the Broncos defense. Interesting.
We're taking the odds at 520, +520.
Okay. I fuck with it. Interesting. Focus 5 out of Mike.
All right.
I need something.
I need something.
You're chasing
the only thing that's made me money this year has been my one super high odd bet that it. So
That
I
wasn't
haven't
even your
done any
bet?
other super high odds. So locking in.
That wasn't even your original bet.
Yeah, it was. No, it wasn't.
Yeah, it was. No, it wasn't.
All right. Time for my Focus 5. I don't have odds in this one. Crap. First one, going back to the teasers, even though my teasers last week would have lost if I bet it, but I really like this teaser. So we have Lions tease them down to 6.5, Texans tease them down to 2.5, Chargers tease them down to 2.5. That's +295. This next one, gonna have to pull this screen here. I don't know if that'll work. Anyways, it's Bucks +7.5, Jags +7.5, Packers money line. I called it the underdogs and Packers parlay, and I just threw the Packers in at the end to make it good odds. Boots on the ground parlay, Pats money line, and I like one Travion Henderson to get into to the end zone this week after the big fumbles last week.
I was tempted by that.
Yeah, I think he's got to get the rock this week. His odds are pretty high as well, indicating I think biggest things he might score. That's +270. Touchdown scores. I'm not gonna be able to watch the 1 o'clock slate, so we're going for the 4 o'clock slate. One man who didn't score last week was Puka Nacua. He's at like -105. I think Ashton Genty gets back in the end zone this week as well against the Bears. And then someone who we've been kind of shitting on this whole podcast, Brian Thomas Jr. I think he gets the end zone, shuts everyone up a little bit. Those two together is a little bit of a lottery ticket, +866. But I think if you look at each individual level, I actually like that a lot. And then for the Monday night game, since we have a doubleheader, I took 1 touchdown score from each game. For the Dolphins, I took A-Chain. Has not had a rushing touchdown this year. He had 2 receiving against the odds, but no rushing touchdown from A-Chain. And then Chase Brown has had a really bad start to the season. I think if the Bengals are going to score and cover like I wanted them to, Chase Brown will need to get in the score and end zone. So +320. Michael filibuster for like 2 seconds while I make the odds of this parlay because then we're going to NCAA.
Don't be talking down on Chase Brown. He's had to carry the entire offense.
10 carries for 3 yards.
Yep.
Last week.
Yeah, I mean, Jake Brown's throwing the ball, so the defense is stacking the line.
Can we make his name Jake Brown? Because both of you said it as
Jake Brown.
Yeah, just Jake Brown.
Anyway, don't mention it. What did you call? You called someone some name before.
Carl Wentz. That's his name.
Carl Wentz.
Carl Wentz.
Carson, he legally changed too. So.
Oh, my bad. I didn't realize that.
I'm capping, but.
No.
Yeah. So filibustering for a while. Gonna check. Oh, look at that. The Mets are up 2-0. The Mets are winning 2-0 in the mid of the second inning. What happened?
+172.
Okay.
There you go. have it in the books.
Vientos fouled out to shortstop.
All right, we've been going on for too long. Like he's reading
All right,
box
sorry.
scores of baseball.
Filibuster. You told him the filibuster.
I did. Good job filibustering.
Thank you, man.
One last comment from the chat before we get to NCAA segment. No way this is still going. Yeah, we somehow got to wrap these up a little bit quicker. All right, it's time for NCAA Week 5. A lot of ranked matchups. Big intrigue this week. NCAA, big weekend for one. Cam will be in Vegas. So we start Saturday. Was there any matchups that have caught your eye that aren't between two ranked teams?
No, not really. Honestly, I'm probably just going to lock in on the ranked matchups.
Okay.
Biggest one I'm sure you're going to mention, so.
All right. Well, first Saturday in a 9 o'clock or 8 o'clock or 10 o'clock body clock game for the USC Trojans in Illinois. Illinois plus 6.5 coming off a disgusting loss last week. That was the most obvious trap set by Vegas against Indiana. We were both on Illinois, but do you still have some faith in Illinois this week, or do you think USC gets this done on the road?
I just think USC. I'm leaning that way. I think this is kind of not a statement win, but it's more establishing themselves in the Big Ten. Not much more other than that. I think their offense is going to play much better than Illinois' offense. I do like Illinois' defense a little bit more than USC's, but at the same time, I don't know. I feel like USC is kind of due for a statement Big Ten win, so I'm going with them.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think Illinois might have been a team that we overrated. I don't love USC on the road in this scenario, but I mean, I think it's just Illinois is not that good, and USC has actually kind of been coming on lately. And I trust Lincoln Riley as a coach. Over under in that game 60.5, so I trust USC to lock in more defensively, which is kind of crazy, but I don't know. 3:30, we head to an SEC matchup between the number 4th ranked LSU. It's been a little bit disappointing against Ole Miss, number 13. Ole Miss is minus 1.5 at home.
I love Ole Miss right here. Not gonna
really?
lie. Yeah, I think the Lane Kiffin docs brought a lot of hype. Came out, I think it was yesterday or the day before. It could be a distraction. Obviously, that's what most people would think. But going off of LSU's big wins, quote unquote, are 2 unranked opponents currently. Even though we ranked them extremely high in the preseason, I like Ole Miss at home here. I think LSU's kind of due for a letdown spot. Give me Ole Miss minus the point. Basically, pick them.
I like LSU. Ole Miss has got too much going on at quarterback. They switched from Austin Simmons. Looks like the kid from D2 is going to start.
Yeah.
They've been really shaky in their wins. Like, granted, they do have slightly better wins, but I feel like they haven't been. I don't know. They haven't convinced me that they're going to be as good as. I think they kind of had letdowns last year too, but
I think this team kind of like you were just alluding to. I think Ole Miss has 1 or 2 big wins, but then they have these losses against a Kentucky or a lower ranked SEC team that make them drop out of the playoff ranking. I think this is one of those wins where it's hey, Ole Miss is a playoff team. Later on in the year, they fucking choke against one of the lower ranked SEC teams. But that's kind of where my head was at.
All right, interesting. So we have 2 absurd games at 7:30, starting with SEC. Bama, had that ugly loss week 1. They kind of reconciled a little bit, got some wins over some trash cans. They are +3 in Georgia. So what do you think about this game?
Give me Georgia minus the 3 every single day of the week. Especially in Georgia, it's going to be extremely tough, and it's always a great game between the two. But I'm not a huge believer in DeBoer currently. He's going to have to prove it to me against a big SEC team, and maybe this is the week, but I don't know. That week 1 loss to Florida State kind of opened my eyes, especially after last year, where DeBoer might not be the answer. But
yeah, I think this one's more obvious than even any of the picks we've made so far. For me, I'm taking Georgia. Bama ugly loss week 1. DeBoer. Bama won last year on that crazy last play, so I think that's definitely in the top of Georgia's mind. Georgia's beaten Tennessee, where Alabama hasn't beat anybody. That's proven to me that they can do it. I'm actually pretty surprised that the spread's that low.
Exactly.
So I'm curious what that's about, but I'm just going to back Georgia. Last one, Big Ten. This is my personal favorite game of the weekend. Oregon versus Penn State. Penn State minus 3.5. Looks like it's going to be a whiteout in Penn State. So what do you think about these 2 teams and who will cover the spread?
I'm going Oregon. I know Penn State hasn't really played that well in the beginning of the season, even though they've won all their games against Cupcakes. The rumors that's been holding their offense or not showing everything they can, especially going to these bigger matchups that they have coming up. I really like Oregon's offense. I think they're explosive as they are pretty much every year. I mean, yeah, it's going to be tough in the whiteout. Don't get me wrong, but I lean Oregon in this one, especially plus 3.5.
I love the hook for Oregon as well. I think Dante Moore has been really good, and the teams like Oregon had played a tough Northwestern team, beat them by 20 or so, just kicked the lids and got Mike Gundy fired at Oklahoma State. Where Penn State, I don't really know who they've played yet. Like I haven't seen it with them, and
they played Villanova. I know that from one of their
okay,
games.
yeah, Villanova, yeah. FCS Villanova.
Yeah.
So I like Oregon. I think Dan Lanning's also a better coach than James Franklin. I don't know if that's that hot of a take anymore, but
no, I completely agree.
One last game, if CBS stuff's trying to block me. The UMass Minutemen at 0-3 head to the 20th ranked Mizzou. Can UMass cover this spread?
What do we have for the spread again?
I don't even have it on the screen.
It's probably like 40.5, something along those lines.
Let's see if ESPN has it.
Give me UMass every single day of the week, plus that amount of points.
Plus 43.5.
Yeah, give me UMass. Anything over 40 I would have taken. This Mizzou team's good, but at the same time, yeah, the quarterbacks look very good. I forget his name off the top of my head, but I was watching him last week against USC. South Carolina, not the USC, but
man.
he looked pretty good. I just don't think this is an explosive enough team where they are up. I can definitely see them winning by 35, but 43.5 too many points. Give me UMass. That'll be a big bet
for the 0-3 UMass Minutemen.
Yeah, we'll be fine. We're actually better on the road, so.
Okay, sorry. Yeah.
In 3 games, the UMass quarterback has 248 passing yards.
We're a scrappy team. We're going to slow the game down. We're not going to allow them to win by more than 40 points. It's impossible.
There you go. All right. Anything else before we depart ways here?
Nah. Good podcast, boys. Good to see Mark as always.
The caller I mentioned
nothing.
Did not end up calling in, so maybe we'll see him next week or a couple weeks.
Yeah, thank God fucking what's his name? Greg didn't call in. I was not in the mood for that. But
people were not. I don't think it was a good pod, but I don't think people were here for the Thursday night, so we'll have to try and get back
that
to
was on
Wednesday.
me. Yeah, I apologize. I apologize.
On your hairdresser, come on.
I know.
We got 4 minutes till football. We get right out of here and right into football, so.
Fair enough.
I've been trying to stream it while you've been talking about college, and no streams going to work.
All right. Thanks to the replay viewers for sticking along. As always, be easy, y'all. We'll see y'all next week.